Hello, and welcome to Technocracy Zero Sum. Uh, it's been a month, and we're here, and we're back again. And how's everyone doing tonight?
Woo!
Yeah,
I have my
Awesome,
props,
Lucas.
so I'm good.
excited.
Has everyone recovered from last night?
No, not even. No.
Not even a little
recovered.
bit. Nope.
If you are not sure what is going on and you're watching this later, not on Patreon, last night was Mage the Victorian Age, episode 17.
No, we totally stayed up to like 12:30 a.m. talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to decompress first, and then the insomnia hit, and so it was like 4 a.m. before I went to sleep. But that's a me thing.
That's a you.
I went and brought McDonald's for the decompression. There we go. That's the
The
word. I don't know.
decompression. The decompression. That's just a compression. A decompression. Thanks for compressing.
Yeah. Whew. Well, now we get to have this fun and laid-back game here, Technocracy in space.
Huh. I don't believe you, Jen. I don't believe. I don't know why. But I don't.
Little to no trauma.
Perhaps it's because I'm suspicious. Anyway, Kelly, are there any things that we need to do, Dork Tales wise?
All I need to tell you is that we have 4 Hurt the Moors that have been transferred from one of my games to this game, which you should enjoy. Besides that, we also have a great sponsor, but we are not sponsored for our Patreon episodes except for by our patrons. If you do want to check out Bookworm Games, they are our first official sponsor. They're a great company. You should go check them out. But I'm just letting you know that right off the bat. These games are sponsored by you, the patrons. If you're watching this later, you should definitely consider joining patreon.com/dorktales, where you can support the stream directly, like the fine folks who got to see this 3 months in advance, along with games like Strixhaven, A Curriculum of Chaos, and the upcoming Passions de la Passions, Hunter the Vigil Summons, Demon the Descent Between the Ticks, I'm working out the title, and Radiant Citadel.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy that I'm running 2 of those. Though Passions is a one-shot, but still the fact it's like,
Yeah.
And maybe Star Trek if we get to 150 patrons.
I'm not running.
Couple luck.
Yeah. Yeah, great. So much great content here on Patreon, and much, much more on Dork Tales itself. Yeah, so let's do some introductions. As I said, I'm Jen. I'm your storyteller for this evening, and I use she, her pronouns. And let's move it on to Kelly.
Hey everybody, I'm Kelly. I'm normally in that seat. That's Christine's seat. That's Jen's seat. And I'm excited to be here tonight. And I know Jen is going to wreak havoc on me after the fun that I perpetrated last night. I'm playing Nolan Westcroft, a former NWO agent, I should say, who is now a member of the Void Engineers, the Descartes Institute of Mental Health. That's me.
Fantastic. Yeah, and payback's a bitch, so
And so am I.
haha. Yeah, great. Christine.
Hello, I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns. And tonight I am playing Sophia Smith, our progenitor of the pharmacopoeist damage control type.
Awesome. And down to Amy.
Oh, hello, that is me. Hi, I am Amy. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them, and I am playing, what is that, Heather Anderson, the Void Engineer of the Earth Frontier Division, and things are great.
Oh, great.
Good time. It's just a small, intimate gathering of friends in a submarine. It's like her dream.
Are we friends?
Yeah,
I thought
with
we were more coworkers, but okay.
a good 10, 15 bodies just hanging out.
Yeah, but those are like in the body cupboard. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's not
they're
a
just
problem.
Nolan put them in the body cupboard.
Exactly.
He's,
The body cupboard is there for a reason. I'm just saying. Like,
And then Tegan let the bodies hit the floor when she got gravity back.
Thankfully, there was no one
It's
there,
true.
so we didn't have to deal with it raining men and women
Hallelujah.
and theys and thems.
Yeah.
Oh man, okay. And last but not least, Robin.
Hi, I am Robin. I use she, her pronouns. As does Tegan Warner, but Tegan Warner also uses
about
they,
tigers.
them.
Tigers are wonderful things.
Yep.
Is your bottom made out of spring?
You don't know, you can't see it.
That's true.
But Tegan is our wonderful Iteration X member who is part human, part cybernetic, and she wants to get more and more that way. Who totally is fine, and this is great. This is gonna be fun. This is we're all together in a yellow happy submarine.
So good. Yeah. Great. Yeah, I guess a brief recap of last game. We've kind of been making jokes about some of it, but it has been a month. And so last game, you all were, well, technically 2 games ago, if we count the Extra Life pilot, and kind of mixed in with last game. You all were sent on a mission down to the deep sea exploration zone, which had gone dark. And your goal was to investigate what had happened along with a crew of void engineers. And once you got down there, you found that the base was fine. There were people there and they were working, and they didn't realize that they had gone dark. You quickly realized that something was very, very wrong, and as did the void engineers with you, and decided to blow up the place and
you do.
escape. As you do, as one does.
Sounds a very reasonable course of action.
Absolutely. You got back into the submarine, and the explosion seemed to have shunted you out past the Avatar storm, which unfortunately, due to the high level of ability of some of the other crew members, most of the other crew members, it has left all of you, plus one void engineer, young Mateo, who alive still here on the sub, which is now in space. And upon further investigation, you have discovered a few aspects of this vessel, shall we say, such as the giant window to space that you can now see out of, and that doesn't seem to be letting the outside in, which is great. Also, gravity. You brought gravity back. Very, very obviously there. And managed to turn the life support systems back on, which is also a very good thing to have done. I didn't even make you start making stamina rolls, because there's rules for being able to breathe and stuff. Finally, you were looking through the computer, Tegan, and you had found some blueprints of this vessel that you appear to be on. The DSRV Rogue is what it was called. Is called, maybe? Because you also found a bit of code that brought up a homepage that said, "Welcome to the Nautilus." And as you were doing that, Heather was about to head off to a power source that seemed to be emanating from lower in the ship, which is weird because she searched everywhere. She's been all over this ship. And that's where we left off. Nolan and Sophia are in the mess hall with an unconscious and drugged up Mateo. And Heather, I don't believe you've left Tegan in the computer room yet, but
Not yet.
we're going to start there with you two, with the blinking screen that just says, "Welcome to the Nautilus," and the little cursor blinking.
What?
Do you want me to roll to see if I remember reading the Nautilus that time
yeah.
in the vents? What would you like for that?
Let's just go with a straight intelligence, just to remember.
Sure. Cool. What's my difficulty?
Let's say 6, because it wasn't that. It was kind of out of place in like in the normal execution of your duties.
Mm-hmm. That is 2 successes. So I might remember.
Yeah, you remember. You remember thinking it was odd then, and it's odd now.
Yeah, but where did I see it?
You saw it, or you actually felt it first as you were crawling through one of the vents. And it was on your way towards the mess hall, so it was kind of on the upper level of the submarine. The submarine has, you've figured this out by now, there's 3 distinct levels. The main kind of interior level is, or the main level is where the mess hall and most of your rooms are. There's an upper level with the piloting area and some storage and some other stuff, and then the lower level is all of the mechanics and all of that. And your like workspace was down there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you found it kind of in a vent in between the main and upper levels.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that before.
Where?
In the vents, in the service tunnels near the mess hall. I thought maybe they just repurposed some parts of something else.
Huh.
But maybe not so much.
I mean, that might be a good place to start. Looking for this access to this power source.
How much longer is it going to take to get the systems info on this on the tablet? I was in the middle of transferring stuff over.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too much longer.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just do some. It's fun. I can keep my keyboard on and just pretend to do clicky clacks on it to make clicky clack sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take long at all. You even with this kind of weird interface up there, you can still access the part you were used to and the part you were trying to move stuff over from.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looks like it's a dual boot operating system, but you're really not sure how it's literally booting both at the same time.
Huh.
Right. Well, at least the map is there and the things that need fixing seem to be showing up. Right. And then Heather's gonna grab her little kit of stuff, like her like belts and her like bag of things, and is gonna just start walking in the direction of this closest service vent to the thing.
Wait, before you go, just hold on a second. I was wondering, I think Tegan is going to try to is there any way that I could try and like, because she has a bunch of tech and data on her, could Tegan like put up basically like a tracker on Heather so that she can like follow her progress and be able to like communicate when possible to her?
Yeah,
through
absolutely.
the like tablet, basically like hack her tablet and install like some like firmware that she has that can basically like, if you accept these terms and conditions, I can like track you and talk to you back and forth.
Ooh.
I can listen to you.
Guessing there's also probably like a communications device specifically for like the techs to communicate when they're going into the ship with
Yeah, probably
the service. with central engineering. I would
Mm.
assume something.
Yeah, I just think Tegan's worried that also, like, if this is a new part of the... She's worried that if you're going into a now open area of the ship, that it may... She's just worried as well that, like, if she loses communication with the ship or anything, that she also has a direct line to you as well.
Yeah, but I think you can probably just add that to whatever's existing.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Tegan will kind of, like, try and work the two systems together.
So I guess
put in a tracking
Heather's gonna
device.
grab the whatever piece she needs, and we'll once Tegan lets her go, we'll do that.
Yeah, you can definitely you have data, so you can definitely use.
I was thinking like some sort of like data and matter with it to kind of like be in her phone or something. Like, I don't know what necessarily it would need.
Yeah, you'd probably need something more like forces for exactly what you want. But if I
have forces too, matter too, and data.
Should we do it? Right. Is there a way to do a conjunctional effect? Because I also have data 1 and forces 1. So like, can I make it so there's like an open just to make it more connected?
Ooh.
Because in this case, I think our foci are close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, yeah. That's one good thing about the technocracy is that all of your foci are a little bit fairly connected.
Yeah.
Depending. Some people are definitely different. But yeah, so let's go. Heather, roll your Rattray, or your enlightenment. Sorry, I'm looking at a mage sheet. It says Rattray. And let's say you've got your tech. It does still count as vulgar because of where you are, but so yeah, like difficulty 4. Yeah, let's go difficulty 4, because you're gonna help, and then based on that, we'll modify Tegan's roll. I can't remember if this is how conjunctional effects are done, but it's the way I'm going to do it.
Well, that is a single success.
Cool. Okay.
Do you want advice?
Do
you want advice?
Sure, yeah.
If they're both awakened, what it'll do is basically they just pool successes.
Okay, cool. Then we'll just do that.
Cool.
That works. So it's an additional success.
Nice.
However, if one of them botches, it gets fun.
Yes, this is fair. That kind of in the back of my mind, that was how it was going to work, and I'm glad that I was on the right track.
It's different if you have people who are unawakened helping, like assistants.
Right.
Okay. But there's so many permutations.
Yeah. Tegan, roll your enlightenment, and you are going to be at, let's see, got data in there, got forces. You're going to be at difficulty 5, I think, for this.
Cool.
My math is probably off on this, but that's fine. Roll it anyway. I want you to succeed on this one.
It's going to be 2 successes, so I rolled an 8, 9, and 3, so 2 successes.
Nice. So that's 3 successes with Heather's.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, and so yeah, you can. You've got the connection. You've got it till end of scene.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, you can definitely do that, and it doesn't take terribly long.
Yeah, I'm assuming I take paradox for this.
Both of you take a point of paradox.
All right. Wee. All right. Yeah, just 1 second, and there we go. I should be able to keep an eye on you, and we should be able to talk to each other. So if anything weird goes down, I can be your eyes and ears up here.
Yep, and if my little... Well... Hopefully nothing terrible is inside the ship.
Yeah, here's hoping.
okay, bye. And Heather's just gonna leave.
Awesome. We'll follow Heather down, and down towards the lower levels. How are you going about this? Are you going into the vents or?
The closest like service vent or tunnel that she remembers on like basically where she found the Nautilus logo or plate before. So heading in the direction, I guess, of one of the service entrances near the
mess hall?
Cafeteria.
Yeah.
Mess hall. My brain's like commissary. I'm like, that's not quite right. Mess hall. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so you head over towards the mess hall where Nolan and Sophia are. So we're actually just going to back up a little bit and see how those two are doing. You have an unconscious and drugged Mateo on the table.
Right, and that was because he flipped his shit, and I think I had a moment of, does he have that thing in him sort of thing, because it was very extreme. Which is why I called Nolan.
Yep, and I drugged him up.
Nice. Okay.
That is indeed what happened. He was screaming and seemed just blank stare into nothingness.
Do you think they have coffee? I kind of was hoping for some coffee.
Well, I mean, it is the mess hall. I'm sure there's some somewhere. If everything works in order to actually do hot water.
Do you think that did that to him? The coffee? Points it. Like, I mean, it kind of looked like coffee when it was coming out of other people, so I don't know. I just... But we can do hot water. You can do hot water, right? You're a scientist.
Well, I mean, as long as there's stuff to do it with, I don't really want to waste my...
I like that we have this type of connection, Miss Smith. We get each other. I can tell.
All right.
I think it's just very important to know that in these type of situations that we're in sync, that there's something about the way that we Nope, I lost you there. Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna go look for coffee. Do you want any?
Certainly. Well, let me give you a hand.
Thank you.
She's gonna go with him to make sure he's not putting anything in the coffee.
Okay.
Cool.
She's kind of going, that was weird, and then got weirder.
That it did.
It did. Nolan was psychologically testing to see if she was actually paying attention to him by yawning. Because when you are actually paying attention to someone and communicating with them, you will usually respond back with a yawn. It's a psychological trigger.
And you're assuming that Christine didn't suppress the yawn because we're on stream, and I didn't want that thing.
Oh, it's psychology on psychology. Oh no.
All right. I have many psychological tools at my disposal for the evening. All right, so Nolan's gonna look for coffee.
Cool. Yeah. So you head back into there's like a front bar area where they can put out either buffet type things, or somebody can serve some stuff from behind there, and then there's a whole like kitchen back there, and you can find a kettle to boil some water, which you think might be a little strange because most of the people on this this thing were American and they don't often use kettles. But then you remember there was like one British person who probably brought it on and it's their personal kettle.
The funny thing about kettles and the American tea and coffee industry is that originally it was thought for the longest time that we didn't use kettles as Americans because of the difference in wattage. That because our plugs are at a lower wattage, it actually takes us longer to boil water. And while that is true, on average, if I remember correctly, we are 1 minute 32 seconds behind a European kettle. If plugged into separate outlets, obviously you'd have to test this across range. But there are actually a number of factors that do it. Simply put, coffee makers are cheaper. that's why it's been a thing. And they're more ubiquitous, really.
My parents had one of those ones that sits on the stovetop.
Oh. Oh, the metal ones! The ones that the people always get clobbered with in movies.
Which would be quite, especially if it had just been freshly boiled, that would not be very good. It would be make a very good weapon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Big, solid steel clunkers. Ooh, that would wreck somebody's day. Okay, we've got the kettles. Do we actually have the material grounds?
Give me a perception check.
Oh god. Ground control to Major Tom. See what I did there? Perception and alertness, perception and investigation.
Yes. Alertness.
Okay. I'm stepping to the...
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 6.
4 successes then.
Nice.
Sophia is going to be looking through the cabinets.
Does astute apply? Probably not.
No, probably not.
Okay, 5 successes.
Okay. The two of you kind of go into the kitchen and divide and conquer, and one of you takes one half and the other takes the other. Nolan, you manage to find the stash of coffee grounds and tea bags and just all the fixins for coffee for the ship. You're not sure what kind of coffee this is. It's just grounds in a sealed container. There's no label on it, but
okay.
It's coffee.
We have coffee.
Sophia, you are looking through some of the cupboards and you find one of the giant percolators, the ones that you use at events and stuff.
I found the real maker. She'll pull the massive one out.
Oh, good. Well, this smells pretty fresh. Smells like Costco, but who doesn't like Costco?
They likely loaded it on prior to the trip. Generally,
Honestly,
fresh supplies.
Even if it turns me into a monster, I'm fine with it so long as I get some coffee. Because if I don't have my coffee, I'm going to turn into a monster. Already, if you get my drift. Don't talk to me until I've...
Yes, I get your drift.
Sorry that I'm being such a drip.
She's gonna just start making the coffee.
I'm just an ordinary Joe. Guess my name is Mud.
I've never been good with puns.
Well, that's the good thing about puns. They're not good to begin with. So, there's no reason to be good with them, just be with them. At least, it's already ground. I hate to have to bring out a mortar and pestle or something. Pestle?
Probably have a grinder somewhere,
Is it pestle or
I
pestle?
think.
Should Google that.
But we don't need to worry about it.
Alright. Well, cheers.
And she'll
Let's get-
start measuring it into the basket.
Yeah, you managed to get the coffee going. You can actually, like, you plug in the percolator and it seems to work with whatever systems they've got up and running, which is pretty great. And Heather, Amy, I know you're looking at things, but Heather does come into the mess hall and just sees an unconscious Mateo holding a stuffed llama, and hears voices from the kitchen.
I think Heather will go in and examine the llama.
Yeah.
And
Does no one
Mateo,
wanna
I
talk
guess.
about the llama?
Basically just walks over, looks down, and goes, well, that's shitty. Don't die. And then we'll poke it, the llama, briefly. Just like, and then goes to check the voices.
Do you wear gloves?
Not right now.
Most of it's probably gone, Jen, but that's up to you.
Yeah. Maybe just give me a stamina check and don't botch.
Telling Amy not to botch.
I know.
Just not bosh, anything else is fine? Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Yeah, difficulty of 4.
Okay, well, I have a 10, an 8, and a 3, so I think I'm okay.
You're good. You're good.
Two ones.
It's you touch it and you smell it. It doesn't really smell like anything.
That's probably fine.
And you hear voices and some banging in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, that's probably those other two. That makes sense. Better go check to make sure it's not zombies real quick. Because honestly, at this point, anything's game. So as quietly as possible is going to walk over there, like stealthy,
You
and
gonna
just kind of peer around the corner.
you gonna stealth over there?
Yeah.
All right, give me Dex and stealth.
Okay. And I am four boxes of aggravated damage, so
Yep.
yep. Oh, I forgot to do that for the stamina roll. I'm sorry. Forgot about that.
That's stamina roll. Don't worry about
Okay.
it.
Sorry, it was
Because of what it
Dex
was.
and
It's whatever.
it was Dex and what? Sorry, I know you just
Stealth.
said it. Stealth.
Yeah.
I do not have
And-
any stealth. What is this? So that just increases the difficulty?
Yeah. So we'll say difficulty of 7, and
great. One dice.
Yay! God.
believe
I rolled an
and
8.
Oh, hey, Sophia and Nolan, you want to roll perception alertness? See if you hear this one
Yes.
success stealth coming up.
What's my difficulty? I guess it's Amy's 8.
It's 6. Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
That's 3 successes.
Is it difficulty 6?
Yeah.
1 success.
Okay. Yeah, Nolan, you're a little distracted trying to use psychological tricks on Sophia, and so you don't quite you think you hear something, but you're not quite sure. And Sophia, you definitely hear footsteps come into the mess hall, stop, and then continue on towards the kitchen.
She slowly opens the drawer where she noticed there was steak knives, and just has one in hand, casually. She's holding it by the tip, so she's kind of ready to throw it if need be.
Cool. So Heather, you come up. There's the bar kind of area, and then behind that is kind of the start of the kitchen. They're a little bit further back because that's where the percolator was. But you can kind of come up to the bar and look enough to see where their noise is coming from. And Sophia, you kind of spot Heather's pink hair. Just
I'm
kind of
staring right at the spot where the sound's coming from.
All right. We're going to make some coffee, and it's going to be... This is military coffee. Never mind. It's going to be mediocre. It's going to taste like burnt sludge, but we're going to be happy to have it. Oh!
Do you want some coffee, Heather?
Does Heather want some coffee? I don't know. Go ask her.
I am.
Oh,
I'll
hey!
take some coffee.
Just slide the drawer closed again.
You're creepy. Creeping.
Yeah, probably.
What's going on, champ?
I need to look for a secret power source.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's gonna be inside the walls somewhere. But
do
I'll
you mean
take
it's-
coffee before that.
What do you mean a secret power source?
Why is it a secret?
I don't
Isn't
know.
it just a power source on the submarine?
No. It's a secret power source. Unless this rings any bells.
Alright, so like secret as in it was not on original plans or unknown to the crew type secret?
Yeah, I've been through this entire thing. There is no place that it doesn't exist, but it's there, so I have to go find it.
Yeah, I unlocked some
Ah.
code. You'll hear Tegan's voice
I
come
brought
from
part
her
of
hut.
Tegan.
Which
Hi.
part? The loud part?
Yeah,
It's to make sure I don't get
can-
eaten by the ship.
exactly. Now, I found some code and booted up a secondary OS, and yeah, we're on the Nautilus, and there is like,
The naughty list.
for lack of better words, a warp core type power source somewhere,
Or a
on the ship.
hyperdrive.
Or a hyperdrive, whatever. You know,
What?
space.
A submarine or a spaceship?
Yes,
I don't know. The TARDIS is a phone box.
Huh.
It could be a little both. I opened a window that led to space. I turned on gravity, which you don't generally need in a sub. So I'm gonna go with it's both.
I don't even know what mission we were on.
Coffee's ready. Or
You have
like-
coffee?
It stinks. But yes.
I mean, it's a bad percolator. It's gonna stink. But the coffee should taste okay.
I mean, it smells like coffee.
Would someone be able
Smells
to
like
run me
ass.
up a cup to the computer room?
Which I think Sophia's gonna go rummaging to see if she can find like a flask to like thermos type like travel.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
And she's going to doctor hers, and I think there's probably a layer of like maybe somebody should go with Heather at least a little bit.
I mean, yeah, that's probably
So there's
good.
a level
That's
of
why
preventing the ship from eating might be easier with 2 versus 1.
That's why I brought part of Heather. Or Tegan.
Hi.
I'm Heather.
yeah, you're
That's
Heather.
what- That seems more to me like knowing it happened, not helping prevent it happening.
True.
Unless you have some sort of like distance abilities.
I mean, yeah, no,
travel
but
through the headset.
I mean, I could probably like, teleport or break down my molecules and all that and reform up near Heather if I wanted to. But hey, if one of you guys wants to accompany her down, that's just extra
like a waste of
protection.
time abilities.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I do
well,
not care which one of you comes with me.
I feel like Mateo is not going anywhere
No, not anytime
at this
soon.
point. So, sure, why not?
What's in the llama?
You have a llama? Like an actual llama?
Drugs of some sort appears.
Well, let's see. I believe it was a
Drugs?
mix of MDMA, psilocybin, and Tylenol 3, mostly with codeine.
Guess that's why my hands hurt slightly less.
Oh yeah, they'll hurt a lot. Do you need some drugs? I've got some stuff like here. Like do you want some of this?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, I only have about like 2 milliliters left, but it's
Yeah, you should save it. I feel like my cells are stabbing each other, but you know.
Oh, I also have some Tylenol.
But I'll take a Tylenol.
Sure. They're extra strength. Is that okay? Like,
Yeah, probably.
yeah, no, I didn't mess with them at all. I mean, but you sure you don't want any LSD?
No, I need to go search for a warp core.
Finding secret things is pretty helpful, but okay. Fair. Here, and I'll pass over a small vial of, like, Tylenol.
I think Heather's gonna pop back like 2 of them. Not sure if that will actually help with the pain of aggravated damage or not, and I don't remember if she took anything last game, but at this point I don't think she cares.
I know Nolan did something, but it's probably worn off by now. So yeah, you're starting to feel it. The extra strength Tylenol will take the edge off, but not by much.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need anything more than that, let me know.
We're still on the same day, right? As last game? Okay,
Mhm.
so I still have the ability to soak ag.
Yes, you do.
Hey, Doc. If they're splitting up, can I DoorDash some coffee?
I'm more of an Uber guy, but okay. Yeah, I can bring some coffee up. Do you take anything in it? Is it as sweet as you are? I'll pour it black.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll pour some coffee. Bring 2 cups up.
Cool. Heather, you remember that the particular exit of the vent here is in the ceiling, so you might want to ask Sophia for a leg up.
We have to go up. Just gonna start like dragging things that can help get the distance a little closer.
Sophia will kind of give a hand stirrup.
Yeah, and then I in my little kit here, I definitely have like rope and things to like tether stuff. So the plan is get up there, secure the rope, drop it down so Sophia can follow.
Yeah, you absolutely can do that. And Sophia, I believe you have the strength and whatnot to haul yourself up there.
Yeah, I have strength 3.
Yeah, you're good.
I think that's probably good enough for that.
Yeah. So Sophia, since you weren't up here the last time, it is a bit tight, but not so claustrophobic like that you're actually like touching the walls.
Right.
It's just turning around is hard, but it's possible.
No, yeah, hold on a sec. And Heather's gonna pull out like a flashlight that she secures to like a strap on the shoulder and just will like slap it a few times to get it going, and it'll just like cast a bit of light around.
Yeah, and like Sophia will do up her buttons on her black suit and whatnot, and it's designed to move and be very flexible for fighting and whatnot, so I feel like she should be okay once she secures the loose bits.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're used to wearing things that follow you into weird places. And this will definitely do that. Heading back over to Nolan bringing Tegan coffee.
Knock knock.
Tegan, is there anything you're doing while Nolan's walking up there?
I think Tegan is trying to just continue working on accessing this new operating system. So it says welcome to the Nautilus. She's gonna try just press some buttons trying to get into its system.
Okay, yeah. Give me an intelligence and actually no, let's do wits because you're just pressing buttons and seeing what happens. So wits and computers.
Wits and computers. All right. What is my difficulty?
Let's do difficulty 7.
Okay, that's only gonna be 1 success.
Okay. And give me and this one's going to be a weird one. Actually, no. Let's do perception and investigation.
Okay.
As you're doing that.
And what is my difficulty for that?
That one is only going to be difficulty 6.
All right, so 2 successes for that one.
Cool. So you're having trouble getting it to really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like blinking there, and you push buttons, and some letters come up on the screen, and you go okay, and you delete those, and then you push some other buttons, and you do some combos, like some function keys and that sort of thing. You're like, just how does this work? And then you realize that the reason you're not sure how to make this work and why it's not working like the other system is that you've never used this computer system. It's an older system. You think it's Windows 98.
God damn Windows 98.
And you're just
lost.
You're just not sure how to get into it.
No. Huh.
And as you're kind of poking at that and realize that, Nolan's comes up with the coffee.
Knock knock.
Oh, hi. Coffee. Yep, thank you. Hey. No offense, but you're older. Do you know how to use Windows 98?
I'm like, okay, yeah. Do I know Windows 9? Yeah, I know Windows 98. I used it when I was a teenager.
Tegan points to the screen. Can you get me in?
Can I let you into Windows 98?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the system. It's a little before my time.
Okay, let's take a look.
Oh, and thanks for the coffee as well.
So what are you having problems with? And he'll kind of like squat over it.
Getting
in. It's a looks like not a login screen, but like an opening screen you're not familiar with. It's not a usual, like, it doesn't say Windows 98 or anything like that. But
I think this is Windows NT.
Could be. Do you have any dots in computers?
I have 1.
Cool. With that, I'm not even going to make you roll for it at this point. Okay. You can do like, I'm going to say that it's
Tegan
a different
have none?
combo than this, but
Oh, I have none. I just rolled like crap on the roll.
Okay.
I have 3 dots in computer.
Okay,
I'm
good.
a computer person. Yeah, I didn't roll good on my roll to open it up.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
But she also is significantly younger and maybe has not had experience with this particular system.
Okay.
But you're like, oh, like Control Alt Delete kind of thing. It's a little bit more than that, but it's basically just a combination of buttons. And
all right.
Yeah, it brings up
there you go.
a desktop with like a start button and there aren't any icons on there except for one that just looks like a circle, like it's a circle within a circle, and it just says Kibo on it, Kibo.
Oh, I saw that movie with the three strings, right?
No, I think you're Kubo.
Oh yeah, it was good. A little violent, but good.
Do I recognize that name, or is that like any sort of familiarity? Does it ring any sort of bells?
Give me intelligence and either academics, computers, or technology.
I will use technology for that because I have 4 dots in that. All right. What is my difficulty?
Let's go with 7 because it's still before your time.
Oh, I rolled a 10, but then I also rolled a 1 on one of those, so those two cancel each other out. So 2 successes.
Yeah, it's a you don't hear the phrase a lot in Iteration X, but you've heard it through some of the people who are more into computers and hacking and stuff like that. It generally stands for knowledge in, bullshit out.
Huh. Okay. Knowledge in, bullshit out.
Ah, yes.
Click.
You click on it?
Yep.
Okay. I was very tempted to just do like a little content warning because I'm sure that I'm gonna scar some people, but that's fine. You double click on it, and there's this little loading symbol, and a little icon comes out across the taskbar. And it's this little black and white tuxedo cat icon that comes out. And he's wearing this little purple bandana that says Kibo on it. And has yellow eyes. And it just sits and it turns and it looks at you through the screen. And it goes, IR help?
That's cute.
What?
It's using cat speech. It wants to help. Like, haven't you ever seen a lolcat?
Yeah, I've seen lolcats. It looks like it's looking at me, like through the screen.
It's animated. It's millennials and your pixel art. Your lack of pixel art.
Help? Tegan's just gonna say.
Do you want to erase the hard drive? I can help with that.
No. Can you show me the hard drive?
Yes. And as it says yes, the loading symbol comes back up again. And this image appears. The screen goes black, so the taskbar and everything goes away. But this white image comes up. And is Tegan familiar with math at all? Like theoretical mathematics?
Would that be something that that's a question.
Yeah, if you want to, there is technically a skill you can do, because there's like math and there's also hyper mathematics, I believe, as a write-in. But if you want to just roll intelligence, you have done a lot of science, and we talked, and your specialty is in engineering, so there's math involved there. So you know some. Just roll me
Yeah.
straight intelligence.
'Kay.
And Nolan, if you think you'd have anything with math, you can do the same.
Enigmas?
Enigmas, sure. Yeah, you can also roll enigmas. There we go.
All right, what is my difficulty?
Let's say it's 8.
1.
All right, I also rolled 1.
Okay. Both of you recognize this as a it's a fractal. I don't know if you know in real life what a fractal is. But it basically the more you scroll in on it, the more it kind of repeats. Right?
Yeah.
The
So every-
quantum realm from Ant-Man is a fractal.
Yes.
Yeah. There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a Mandelbrot set?
I don't.
It's a song by Jonathan Colton. Mandelbrot.
Oh, I don't.
Cause yeah, you're a Dayglow pterodactyl. You're a heart-shaped box of springs. Oh yeah, you're one badass fucking fractal.
You gotta share with me your Spotify playlist sometime.
My what?
Oh. Boomers.
I have a Zoomer. Did you just call me a boomer?
If you don't know what Spotify is,
I just don't. I don't like subscription services. They can track your whereabouts. All right, I'm Gen X through and through.
okay, all right, Gen X, all right.
Well, it matters.
Sorry.
My uncle was a boomer.
We work, Kate. You work for the Technocracy. We track you with the. You don't have to have a Spotify.
Yeah, but you pay me.
Yeah,
Besides,
but
I have a lot of
we track
coworkers that would just.
everyone.
What?
I have a family plan. If you want to, I can get you like.
I didn't think we were that
An
close
account.
yet, but okay, sure.
I mean, once you go to space with someone, I feel like we're pretty close.
Okay, so that's good. I'll come to your wedding. I'll buy you a toaster that'll track your location.
Thanks. Yep. But yeah, that's a fractal. What?
Well, so why is it showing us this? Is this the hard drive?
I don't know. I don't know.
This computer has Doom on it.
As you say that, the little cat head, just the cat head, and it's larger now, just kind of pops up over the taskbar, and it looks at you and goes, "I can play Doom."
All right, let's play Doom for a bit.
Have you ever played Doom?
Yeah.
Huh. I would have thought you'd be like more of a Quake girl.
The loading screen for Doom comes up.
You know, I have some bullshit Quake or some Doom music. Hold on. Okay, so. Boop. You think I'm lying, but
Oh, what? Why would I think you're lying?
wow, the search is taking a while though. So
Fair. And before I leave you to play Doom for a little bit, both of you give me perception and awareness checks.
sounds good.
Difficulty of 8.
Oh, I'm just rolling perception. All right. No awareness for Tegan.
This is called BFG 9000.
Okay. All right. Tegan botched.
Ooh, okay.
Does being astute help me at all?
Yes.
No, it doesn't. What's my difficulty?
8.
One success.
Okay. Nolan, as the Doom screen loads, you get a bit of a prickling sensation on the back of your neck. Something is really off with that cat icon. You can't pinpoint it, but something is off. Tegan, you're just playing Doom. You're like, yeah, Doom.
Yeah, Doom. The cat's cute. It's kind of growing
So
on me.
is the cat's name Kibo?
Yeah, Kibo.
Like keyboard?
No, like acknowledging bullshit out.
Oh, shit, bullshit.
It's an old hacking phrase from, before times.
Huh.
What?
I remember that.
What's up,
It's-
Doc?
How are you feeling?
Fine. How are you?
I'm just.
Just to let you know, Tegan, does aggravated damage show up
Oh yeah.
on people? Oh yeah, so
Oh,
you'll see
well-
that Tegan looks fucked up then, because she has 3 points of ag, but I don't feel pain.
Hey, Kibo, boop boop boop.
Help?
Are you like Clippy but furry?
I know Clippy. Clippy's my best friend.
Oh yeah, this thing's evil. So Kibo, can you do me a favor? Can you sure. Do you have any stats?
Stat block.
Yeah,
I have
you have
stat block.
display
wanna see?
stat block.
Okay. And the icon goes away, and in front of the Doom screen, Tegan, you can still play Doom behind the
Yeah,
stat block
Tegan's
that
just
comes up.
like-
It's just
What are you doing, Doctor?
and you see a stat block that is not like any sort of stat block you might normally think of. What was Nolan thinking of in terms of stat block?
Honestly, anything
kind
that
of
just
stats?
shows role-playing stats, baseball card stats, or just general programming information.
Okay, yeah. You get this image comes up in front of the Doom, and as it kind of solidifies, it does obscure a little bit of Tegan's vision, but it's like a Pokemon card with this icon of a cat on there, and it's just a bunch of words, but you get inquisitive, inconsistent, contrary, fixed, automated. You get a little error notification, curious, glitching, and jor.
What is that? Nolan, what did you do?
I'm hacking the Matrix's mainframe database.
Huh.
And I'm gonna let you sit with that while we go check in on Heather and Sophia. You're crawling through the vents,
Bang, bang.
and Heather, you find that spot where it says Nautilus. And you keep going because there's really only one way to go, and that's forward. You reach an opening that opens into like a middle tunnel of ladders. It's one of those quick access points where it's just ladders all the way up and down, so you can climb to the different vents and repair things faster. And what do you do once you get there?
So once I find the, so where exactly along here was the Nautilus thing?
So it was actually fairly close to the mess hall. And it was in a part of the panel that, like, you thought it could have been recycled. So it was like close to a seam,
Yeah.
which seemed weird to you. But yeah, depending on what you're looking for along the way, you don't really find anything else other than that. At least not in
Well,
this vent.
Well, if I can find the seam,
Mhm.
Heather's gonna look at it and is gonna go, "Open sesame." And we'll stare at it intently.
Nothing happens.
She will knock on it 3 times.
Can I turn on Prime Sight to see if there's any active effects in the area?
Sure, yeah. Give me
Just
a
like
Arete roll. It's just going to be difficulty 3.
2 successes then.
Cool. Yeah, you got it. And there's no paradox from that because I'm ruling that your own personal sensory things aren't giving the paradox like everything else.
Cool.
Yeah, so you turn on Prime Sight, and Heather, do you have actually, yeah, what spheres do you have?
So I have
Can we just put
correspondence
this
in
in?
life,
Okay.
but I would at least be able to see that there was something happening, right? I just wouldn't know what it was.
Well, you do see the correspondence effect that Heather has on her. It's correspondence and something that you're not
forces
sure
it.
of.
Oh yeah,
Yes, but she's not sure of it.
I realized that. I was
Halfway through the sentence, yeah. And that's the effect that she and Tegan worked, and that's on. And you get actually, as you're looking at Heather, you see scars that aren't magic, but or aren't science, I should say. They're not scientific scars. They are internal soul-based scars. And you think that's her aggravated damage from the dimensional anomaly.
That's
And
interesting.
it's a lot.
Oh. She's gonna kind of lean forward and peer closer at Heather and just like,
and Heather's looking at this seam, like just sort of staring at it and going like knock knock knock, completely ignoring what Sophia's doing.
And Sophia, you can also give me a let's do perception and awareness.
okay. What's my difficulty?
Let's say 7 because you're slightly distracted by the scars.
Well, that's a lot of 7s. I just rolled 4 of them, in fact.
Should have made it 8. No, that's fine.
That's really funny.
So as you're, yeah, that's great. As you're staring at,
Feels like a Yahtzee moment.
yeah, right. You're staring at Heather's soul, basically. I don't know if Sophia believes in the soul, but it's kind of an overlay.
It's an internal
to her.
spiritual representation.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's familiar with the concept because it is a thing that occurs, and
Yeah.
we have no other explanation for it besides spirit.
Yeah, and you're familiar with your own like eidolon and what the mages would call an avatar, your genius, that sort of thing. And so you can see how there's tears through hers. But then out of the corner of your eye, sort of, it's kind of down below you, but it's in your peripheral vision. You see this flare of prime, and you have data, not correspondence, right?
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yes.
I just have a
I'm
made
just
sheet.
making sure, because you see prime and something that looks kind of like data, but it's wrong. And it just flares up. And something
It's kind of down into the side a little, kind of peripheral.
down into the side, like
And if I look at it directly on, can I see it directly, or is it just a peripheral vision thing?
if you turn and look, it's even more clear. You can see there's these smaller flares, and every so often there's a bigger one.
Gonna tap on Heather.
What?
Down there. There's a prime, and it's not data, but similar. Effect flaring.
Oh.
And she'll point at the area.
And Heather's gonna basically just kind of shrug and is going to get down on her hands and knees and get down to to get close to that little area, and is gonna start poking around at it with whatever's there is. And
Sophia, you can tell it's actually probably floors below. Because
Yeah.
you're up higher up. So, yeah. I'm just saying because she won't be able to see it necessarily.
No, she's gonna try and communicate roughly where she's seeing the effects.
there's nothing here.
Well, I mean, nothing active at the very least. If it is a buried effect that has a trigger, until we use the trigger, nothing's gonna show up.
Hey, Tegan. Boop, boop.
Yup.
Where'd you say the thing that shouldn't be here looked like it was located?
Kind of center of the ship. Down.
Yeah, where am I?
You're kind of
she
not.
is-
You're off center.
Yeah. She's, higher up and a little, let's say to the left, essentially,
Yeah.
is kind of how you're looking at it on the blueprints.
Yeah. So
Okay, one sec.
you're higher to the left. So you need to go back right and then down a few floors. And that should put you right there.
I realize there are 3 floors on this ship.
That we know of.
Mm.
Yeah, but if you go on any further, you end up outside.
Well, maybe we don't.
You know what?
Mm.
At this point, I guess anything's possible. And Heather's gonna actually pull out the data, the tablet that had things in, is gonna and actually try and sync it to press the sync button to reset the. So it's actually tracking a little more accurately.
Yep. And you can see kind of where you are, and you're, between floors 2 and 3, and you need to be down below floor 1, sort of, maybe at
So I
somewhere
think
in floor 1.
normally this doesn't show where I am in relation to it, because
Right.
usually that's not an issue because I know where everything is. So it's
Right,
trying to
yeah.
I basically resync to do a date, transfer that data or whatever.
Yeah.
To actually locate me on it. Just gonna-
Yeah.
Are you sure
Okay.
it's a physical entrance versus maybe a portal type entrance?
There's no transporter tech on the ship.
Well, it's not data what I'm seeing. It's similar. Are you sure a technocrat made this?
No, I'm not sure about anything. But we gotta go down.
Did we maybe repurpose something we liberated?
Quite possibly. And Heather's going to try and figure out which the best direction is to start heading down towards where I think... Basically, it's pinging on... I think it's been pinged on the map. It's
Yeah.
see? Flips it around. That's where we got to go. This is us. That's where we have to be.
Yeah.
So we're going to go that way.
The way Tegan
Lead on?
mentioned, you back up a bit, you kind of go to one of those side vents, and then you hit one of those ladder tubes.
Yeah.
And you
We're
can
going
go
to be
on
doing
down.
some laddering. And Heather's just going to
Alright.
walk and head and is not going to say anything further. She's just leading the way.
All right. Sophia will very, very quietly under her breath mutter to herself that, and they say I'm bad with people.
You're just gonna hear from the tablet. Oh, hey, Doom.
You could probably
Honestly,
run Doom on this.
This entire crew is bad with people, and it's great. Yeah, you guys continue on. You find the ladders. You make your way down, and your datapad is accurately portraying where you need to go. And you get down to the lower level, and this is a level of, it's a lot of storage. There's boxes here that were supposed to be offloaded onto the base.
Yeah, it's
Because-
not happening.
Never got through all of that. It looks like supplies of varying sorts.
Could be useful.
And other than that, and kind of your workshop-y area, that's pretty much what's down here.
Mhm.
And as you walk along one of the main hallways, Sophia, you see another one of those flares, but it's behind the wall that you're just coming up to.
So, it's supposed to be here. And do we just need to like start tapping things? There's no service tunnel behind there. I know that.
Maybe there is and it's hidden.
Honestly, at this point, who knows? Heather's gonna start like looking around to like see if any of the panels look like even slightly different, if there's any like seams, and if any of them look mismatched or newer than the others.
Yeah, give me, let's say, perception and something that would track with that, like a technology or a. And
I have.
You have the mechanics expertise or whatever it is, right? Which lowers your difficulty.
Yeah, I have mechanical aptitude, which I think is the
Yes.
one. Yeah.
But yeah, or technology or investigation or even
I have
science would probably work.
Technology 4.
Cool. Yeah. Perception and technology.
I could do that. Okay.
And your difficulty is 4.
Okay.
Tegan, you are starting to get static from Heather.
So it's difficulty
Hey,
4.
Yes.
That's 4
Nice.
successes.
Nice.
What's up?
You're kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
She's cutting in and out a bit too. It's
Yeah, I got about half of that.
Out.
Well, that
as
sucks.
you look at the wall, you can tell that while it's hard to tell when you're just walking through the hallway because these are large panels of metal. But you look at excuse me. You look at the panels on either side, and you look at this one, and this one is newer. And not only that, but it's got, you're not really sure how to describe it. It's like there's paint on it that's flaking off, but it's not paint. It's also not like lead, but it's something that's kind of flaky.
I'm gonna pull out my soldering iron and see what happens if I apply like, because I think that's the way, whichever one, it applies like a little bit of heat just to see if it melts or anything. It's a different material.
Yeah, it doesn't melt. I
Or,
mean,
well, whichever one it would be.
You get the little bit of like soldering metal type thing, but nothing extra. Just works like normal.
Well, this chunk is newer.
Sophia, you see another flare, and as you see it from directly in front of the wall, you can see that what you're seeing in your vision coming through is fractured. Like it's not fully penetrating parts of the wall.
It doesn't seem to be fully coming through the wall. She's gonna reach out and kind of like touch the same area that she's seeing it.
Mhm.
Like,
Give
maybe
me
this is
a
covering it?
give me
Probably.
a perception and alertness check.
What's the difficulty?
Let's say 6.
4 successes.
Cool. The wall feels a little warm to the touch.
Should this feel warm?
You got the systems back up, so kinda, depending what's behind it.
Heather, do you touch
But-
the wall?
Yeah, I was gonna touch the wall.
Yeah. Since she's pointed it out, it does feel warm. Not only that, it compared to what you're used to, it feels hot.
Oh, that's not warm. That is hot. That is
Well, I mean, it doesn't burn, so it doesn't feel hot.
Hold on.
But it's probably warmer than it's supposed to.
I don't know. I'm getting
I
half
don't
of
know
it.
ships.
I'm very hot. Tegan would like to try and enhance. See if she can try and enhance the signal downtown, like down there,
Okay.
if
sure.
possible.
Give me a give me a data and forces combined roll, well, an enlightenment roll. But your difficulty is, now that I actually have the sheet up, 6.
Okay.
I'm spending a hurt them more.
Oh no.
Oh, that was so nice. But I rolled a 1 on one of that, but I did roll a 10. T10s reroll on magic, right? Or enlightenment.
Yes.
Or all right, that's gonna be
Okay,
2
rolls,
successes.
rolls.
Great.
So yeah, you tinker with the technology that you're using, and I'm going to use a metaphor, though it's probably not the exact tech you're using, but it's kind of like adjusting antenna, where you're just like,
Yeah.
can I just like get it a
Yeah.
little bit,
Rabbit
and
ears.
you feel it. Yeah, it's like rabbit ears. To follow through with the old technology aspect,
Yeah.
it does even more. But you feel it work. You feel the signal get stronger and then fizzle out completely. And they're gone.
Okay, well that's not great.
What's up?
And both of you give me a perception and alertness if you're looking at the computer.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Difficulty 6.
Yep. That's
Why am I rolling so many goddamn 1s tonight? That's 0 successes. But
I hate to be a
thankfully not
broken
botch.
record, but does the Astute count?
In this case, yes.
Okay, one sec.
Okay.
Okay, one sec. That is only 6 successes.
Goddamn.
Cool. Yeah, the reason that Astute counts is because you've been so suspicious of this little icon, and you notice as Tegan's trying to get the signal back, she looks at the computer briefly and she doesn't see anything, so she tries to but you look and you've been so suspicious for good reason, because this little cat is holding a little icon in its mouth that is flashing a red light. And I need Dex and Athletics from Sophia and Heather, please.
Dex and athletics, you say?
I do. Difficulty 6.
Oh boy.
Shit.
Oh,
Every
good.
single die I rolled was a success.
Excellent.
I roll 2 dice, I get 2.
I missed LARP
Oh,
rules
God.
of 10s exploding all the time.
I know.
Right? It's so good. Sophia, something in you just knows when shit's going to go down. And
Just
you're not sure what it
experience.
is. Yeah, just experience. Something you hear maybe. But Kelly, could you play that file?
The loud one or the crickly one?
The loud one.
What the fuck?
And the wall explodes. And I think it's a good time to take a break.
Oh shit.
Oh no!
We'll be right back.
Dude, oh my god.
Oh no!
Hi guys, how's it going?
I'm good. I didn't get blown up.
Yeah, I didn't get blown up too.
Well, now's the time that we talk to the chat. So for like
Yep.
10 minutes, and with as there's not that many of you in here because it's a Patreon stream originally, but yeah, it gives us a moment to decompress from the decompression that might have just happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're a funny lady, Jen. You're a funny lady.
So Amy, you know that thing I was talking about in the chat earlier about, when we misheard Tegan's name? I have to have Arete 5 to get that. So I have to wait a bit. But I can get a
That's amazing.
those things as a thing. Yeah, it's great.
What?
So maybe we'll have to
That
work
was
towards
better.
that. Give me Tigger legs.
Yeah.
It's literally a biomechanic thing. Is kinetic legs, but it's
Don't
Arete
see.
5, and then, or is that it's okay? How does buying things work again? Because do I have to have Arete
Buying
5?
enhancements.
Yeah.
It has Arete 5. It's Arete.
So
Yeah.
I just have to have 17 quintessence, and I can buy
No.
this.
No.
Nope, it's
What
quintessence.
What
as well.
dot level is
No,
it?
it says cost. It says cost 17. It says quintessence 25, and it says cost 17 in brackets.
Isn't that related to your requisitions rating or like roll? What you can? No, not quite.
No, this is
enhancement cost is dumb.
Mm.
This is also
It's
the
Just gonna
only
go on record.
Ooh, one sec.
But-
I forgot my glass in the other room.
I just realized that I've been drinking this Crystal Light strawberry lemonade mix for months
Yeah.
now, and that's not what it's called. Strawberry lemon babe.
I did not realize that either. I'm
Now
also
I'm
drinking that
angry.
right now.
Is that what you're drinking right now?
Mhm.
Strawberry lemon babe. I'm so angry now because
Amazing.
it's so dumb.
That's good.
I'm very thankful. This is the last game that Amy has to de-blue from after Spelljammer, because Spelljammer will be done by the next one of these unless there's a catastrophic decompression. So that'll be good. Ooh, caught my ball. I'm excited for that. And then, yeah. How's everybody doing? Y'all doing well after last night's Mage?
Yeah.
Oh, we're
So
fine.
good.
Season 2 is going to be really interesting. I need to do a lot of research for that.
Fair. I feel you there.
Season 3 is going to be real streamlined. Honestly, the seasons get way shorter after Season 1. Season 1 kind of... We kept losing momentum that I had to ramp up again because of all the breaks. So it was like, fuck that.
Yeah. I'm sorry my basement exploded.
There was that game was just like a little bit cursed. Season 1 was a little cursed, but book 1 was a little cursed.
Book 1 was cursed for sure.
All right, that's about 5 minutes, so I can plunge this now. Come on.
Yeah, I'll look into enhancement costs and stuff because it is wonky and weird. Because remember, you and I had to have that talk for your DEI about how you were spending way too much because it didn't cost that much. So I'll double check what it all is. Just send me the book and page number for whatever you're looking at.
Okay.
And I'll look into it after. But yeah.
Nice and warm. If only this perfectly normal black mug. What? What is this witchcraft? What is
happening? Witchcraft.
Oh God.
So
super important question. It's not actually an important question at all. But like, I kind of rock the pink. I need to dye my hair again sometime soon. Should I just dye my hair pink?
Sure.
Yeah.
I kind of love it.
Yeah.
You'd be Bebe if you did.
It's kind of great. It's
good.
Like how when I was wearing the Ferox wig, and I was like, I need this color, and then I did highlights, and now they're all washed out, but that's fine. But yeah,
like,
do it.
Do I want to do like this kind of color pink, or should I go for like a hot pink?
I mean, I kind of want to dye my hair this color.
It looks really good on you. Like, it's such a good color on you.
To be fair, I have a shit ton of darker foundation and bronzer on.
I know, but that's
to
perfect
fit this
for the
wig, but
camera, like, and the lighting. Yeah. I've got like a whole bunch of like not like a huge amount, but I definitely have some bronzer on because of how washed out this makes me.
Yeah, this is too light of a wig for my own skin tone, but
should I grow my hair out? What do you think?
I don't know. I've seen your hair grown out.
It doesn't look
it
like
doesn't
this at
do
all.
that. No, you'd have to actually actively straighten.
You would need
it
a
to do that.
straightener.
Yeah.
I've got the curly hair.
I'm so annoyed. I know I have a tiny, like, small straightener, which is great for like wigs and fixing, but I don't know where it is.
Oh no.
So annoyed.
I just noticed that Random had left and then joined us back in the chat, but missed all of the last part of that. Like missed everything from like. Everything is fine.
Everything's fine. Just fine. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's gonna happen that's bad. We're all alive. We're good. Mostly.
Query.
I already
Jen,
have. I mean, I still have 2 points of ag on me. So.
What do you do for? What do you do on Tuesday nights? Is that your other game?
No, it's the gym.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We've had this discussion.
I have a lot of discussions.
I know. I have game, gym, game, gym, night off. game, possibly.
Yeah, Friday nights are
Sundays
my nights off too. I feel that. Thursdays and Fridays are my weekend. I got to remind myself more often that like taking a day off means taking a day off.
Uh-huh.
So like I've been trying to spend Thursdays like just kind of reading and doing minimal work. I'm not good at it. I don't know. I want to stream some role-playing games or some some video games. That's what I'm saying.
You should do it.
I should. I've got like Dead Space. You can see me cry because it's really hard and scary.
Yeah, just do it for the heck of it. Just to maybe have one person chat with you while you play a video game.
It'll be Traz.
Yeah.
That's the fun part of it, really.
There we go.
The Traz is the fun part.
Yeah. See, you just do it like it's like a podcast, except you're playing a video game.
Some of my best streams have been the ones where I've had like 2 viewers and one of which is talking to me constantly the whole time. Like when I get a raid and have like 50 people, none of them talk to me. And it's really hard to keep a conversation going when nobody's talking to you and thus giving you stuff to talk about. Whereas having one person who just starts asking questions and just chats with you about crap is great, because that's where, like, I'm pretty sure I've had random Intrazel to get me onto weird ass like British history stuff.
Chat, do you have any questions for us before we go back from break?
I loved
So
your
many questions.
Wesley in
Wesley.
Spelljammer.
Spelljammer today was such a hoot.
Was
Oh my
it?
god, all of y'all needed to go to horny jail, swear.
I didn't. Mool was fine.
Are
Oh,
you a
you're
cruisy?
writing fanfic. You.
Yeah, and has to have someone correct it because anatomically it doesn't work. Because they just don't get it.
Stuck her toe in his ear.
Especially when it's interspecies, it doesn't always work. That's what Rec is for. He's the quality control.
So a couple of things. There was
Quality
a
control.
Jen. There was a discussion. They were basically in an arena combat, and Krista's character tried like compelling the audience to rebel against the head of the arena, as you do, and they managed to turn the audience against the overseer, and the crowd was like yelling a bunch of things, and this one guy was like, "Yeah, kick their asses," and like there's this back and forth about like, "Yeah, treat like, you know, take them down like a bitch," or something like that. And then this guy from the audience who was yelling back and forth was like, "Actually, we should probably recognize that that is gendered language that is derogatory and demeaning towards women. But still, we should also understand that such things do have a place in our modern society through colloquial parlance."
No, someone's saying no, you should call them wusses or something.
Actually, that is emasculating and is vaguely misogynistic as well. So, oh, sorry, not misogynistic.
I don't remember the exact phrasing, but it was really freaking funny.
It was really funny back and forth, and it turned out that he's now a character I have to play in a game called Bruno Bambino, and I put up a poll to see what species he was, and it was like between like a bunch of different species. You know what species ended up getting selected? Italian.
What?
He's the Italian fantasy race. So during our break, I created an Italian fantasy race. They're the Italianos. They have such racial bonuses as, "Hey, come on!" and "I'm walking here." "I'm walking here" allows them to move through anyone's square.
That's the best.
They got Ma's cooking, which allows them to regenerate health by eating Ma's cooking. And
It was
"Hey, come
incredibly
on!" gives them
funny.
advantage to convince people to do things against their best interests.
Oh boy.
It's so dumb.
So we do have a question from the chat. Do technocrats have immovable rods, and are they proficient with them?
Nolan's rod's pretty immovable at this point, but that's because of grief.
I was gonna say Nolan.
Fair.
Nolan's sexless. Like Nolan is just not. Do they have immovable rods? Yeah, you could do that with magic. You could do that with forces. You could do that
like
with forces.
forces and time effect potentially.
You could do that with just time, actually. Time maybe
Yeah.
time and matter. Because you can just freeze things in time.
Then that shit ain't moving until somebody tries to undo the effect.
But before then, people are losing teeth. Well,
Yep.
you actually could do a movable rod. It'd be great. Anybody else doing anything good? Yeah, the movable rod just wings around if you push the button.
Fair. Yeah.
Oh, wigs are itchy.
I'm hoping to do some podcast editing this week. That would be great.
Oh man, me too.
Having time for that. Right.
I'm opening a
Uh,
side window. Hold on. I got adjusting my calendar during this break.
Oh my,
Fair.
Amy. Oh my.
Was that not the first thing you think of?
It is. I just was like,
An immovable rod is not just a dildo with a suction cup, Amy.
No, I know it's
no,
not.
a movable.
There's
rod.
an
That's
immovable rod.
vibrator.
You press the button and it doesn't move. And you have a movable rod. You press a button and it keeps moving until you press the button again.
Push the button,
stopped.
Kronk.
That would actually be incredibly useful if it's moving through space. Because then you literally hold on to it and get yourself across a chasm and then like stop it again.
Yeah, that's called a witch's broom.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just saying that witches have all sorts of inanimate rods that they use for their own purposes.
Hey, Darcy, how's it going, girlfriend?
I think she's going to be
She should
turned off
probably-
men for a bit.
I was gonna say she probably needs to actually use those rods because just men are just not good for her.
That's true. Teddy's at it. Teddy's off limits now.
It's true.
Yeah.
So before we get back into things and, counter this discussion with what's about to happen, or what has happened, I suppose, I just want it on the record that I have used 2 of the Hurt Them Mores. I only declared one of them because the other one was quiet.
Shh.
Right? Okay,
Also,
let's get back into it.
All right, ready to hop back in?
You're going to hop back in.
All right.
Everybody's
you
good?
want, dramatic music?
Yeah, dramatic music. That's good.
Dramatic music, go.
Sophia, you had a bit of warning and just that instinct that you've honed over years of being in dangerous situations. Do you try to get Heather out of the way at all?
Yes, I think so. In this case, this is the team she's working with, and she needs them in one piece to ensure that she stays in one piece.
Okay.
And that
You
is
had
the
5
nature of working
successes.
with other technocrats.
Yes. And Heather had 2.
Mhm.
Okay. Sophia, you grab Heather's arm, the one that's out touching the wall. You grab it and you yank her to the side. And because of that, you both only take 1 lethal as the metal explodes out and slices your arms mostly.
I was going to say I was
as
going to try and kind of pull her and maybe turn, because if I can soak ag right now.
Fair, yeah. So you will actually take nothing because you can soak ag and have the armor on. You're good. I think Heather, I don't think you have armor on, so yeah. So you still take the 1 lethal, but instead of taking all 3 that I rolled, because Sophia pulls you out of the way.
Yeah, unless like having slightly like reinforced pants and or like overalls kind of thing, but
Yeah, this metal is pretty sharp as it comes out of the wall, and there's and it's hot. It's hotter on the other side. You feel the heat as smoke starts to billow out of the room. Up in the main computer area, Nolan, you see Kibo with this flashing red light, and you realize it's an alarm, and you hear and feel the explosion as the ship shakes.
What just happened? What just happened? Whoa,
I
Bad cat.
don't know. Bad
you
cat,
did
what?
this. You did this. Why did you do this?
Nah. Help it.
Bad
Bats
cat.
at the red light. Just pounce.
I'm gonna grab the mouse and try to grab it by the tail.
Okay. Give me a
Dex and
God, what would this be?
computers?
Dex and computers roll, yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, here we go. I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Do
Okay.
it.
Oh balls. What's my difficulty?
It's a little distracted, so I'm gonna say 5.
2 successes.
Congrats. Yeah, you managed to grab it by
Come
the
here, you
tail.
little son of a bit. I'm gonna pull it away from the button.
You pull it away, and Tegan, you can see it's not actually a button. It's more just like a notification alarm that is now blinking red, blinking faster.
What is going on?
Down in the lower level, you are coughing now because of the smoke. And you can hear the burning in the room that has appeared behind this wall. There shouldn't be a room there. According to the regular schematics, Heather, the ones that you're familiar with, there shouldn't be a room there.
This doesn't look right. What the heck?
Well, it's on fire, so
Oh,
That's definitely
there should
not
be
right.
an extinguisher, like over. Wait, where? They're gonna start looking for a thing to put out the fire.
Yeah,
it will
absolutely.
help.
Yeah, both of you give me perception and alertness. Difficulty of 6. Because the smoke's starting to get thicker.
2.
1.
Excellent. Sophia, yeah, you spot a fire extinguisher. Heather's still kind of trying to look down the hall, remember which way, and you spot it.
I will grab, pull, and aim.
Cool. Just give me, you'll probably pass this easily, but a strength and athletics. Difficulty of 4 because it doesn't take that much to hold this, but you're under a bit of
for
pressure.
a fire extinguisher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not too bad. You just have to know that you have to hold the end of it because otherwise it'll whip around.
Exactly. Right.
Difficulty 4, you said?
4. Yeah.
That's 4 successes.
Awesome. Yeah, you have no problem spraying this into the room. And you didn't look, but it's one that's rated for electronics, so it is doing really well to put this out. Let me just...
Excellent. I basically assumed that if it was in the room with electronics, that it would be able to handle electrical fires.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah. Give me a second. Heather's gonna pull out her work gloves, which are like good for, like used for welding and are very heat resistant. And we'll properly like put on some of her her goggles up and stuff. Just we can clear some of this.
You look into the room, and as the fire is starting to die down, there's still quite a bit of smoke. Upstairs, you actually can smell the smoke now. But the little red blinking light is actually slowing down. And doesn't look as urgent as it did a moment ago. And you look into the room, and it looks like a big room. An important room. It's not a storage room, though there's a bunch of boxes in here that were on fire. So now there's ashes and some melted metal in some areas. But the main thing you see is right in the center of the room. And this is where you believe the explosion initiated from. Because whatever it is, and you have no idea, it is, most of the fire is right there. It's this large circular object that looks like, maybe you could call it some kind of warp core. Maybe it's a Star Trek type thing, but it looks less futuristic and more jury-rigged.
So more like part of the TARDIS kind of thing?
A little bit, yeah. There's wires everywhere. It looks like a cheap TV show version of a warp core.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's
Huh.
wires now that are sparking everywhere. And Sophia, as you manage to get kind of the boxes put out, you start focusing the extinguisher on the actual main part of the fire. There's a hole kind of in the side of this round circular well almost, and there's just kind of darkness in the center of it. And it'll just take a moment before you get the fire put out. But meanwhile, upstairs, you are smelling that smoke. And you don't have a connection to them down there. You do have, actually, a light. The light that was indicating Heather blinks on. It had blinked off momentarily, but it blinks back on. You still have no voice connection, though.
Okay. So I have a rote written down for scan area. I forget exactly what the spheres were for that. But I'm trying to search through all the many thousand books that I have.
So
Slight
many.
exaggeration. But I was wondering if like using basically trying to have a combination of using data, forces, and matter. I think Tegan wants to try and scan as much of the ship as she can right now and try and get look for signs of power surges, life signs, weird bullshit if she can.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have this computer that you can access a bunch of the ship's systems through, it's not going to be as hard as if you were trying to jury rig it all together on your own.
Yeah.
You are not going to be able to look for life or mind if you don't have them.
Yep. That's yep. So like forces and matter.
But you can definitely look for power surges, damage, weak points, potentially, though that's a little more entropy, but you could look for it in matter as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that because we should choose how many successes you're trying to go for here. And you can do this over multiple rounds if you have if you have enough successes each time.
Yeah.
So there are 3 floors to this place.
Yeah.
And it's bigger than you actually know it is. So I'm going to say that for each level, to fully search it, you're going to need 4 successes.
Okay.
For each level. That's basically, you get the 2 for forces, 2 for matter is kind of where it's going with that.
Yeah.
So to search the entire place, you need 12 successes.
12 successes.
Okay.
All right.
You can spend willpower over multiple rounds if you want. You don't suffer from wound penalties. Not that I mean it's magic, but you don't suffer from wound penalties. And you're going to be at a so you have matter 3?
No, I have data 3.
Data 3, right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You're going to be at a difficulty of 8 unless you spend to bring it down.
All right. I don't have any quintessence right now. So, all right. Difficulty 8. So you have to get half the successes to continue on forward that you declare?
You can split this by level if you would prefer to do that.
4 per level. That's way easier.
Yeah, I would like to split that per level. To
Cool.
do 4 the first turn, 4 the second, and just like do, basically take time to scan, then scan, and then scan.
What Tegan, what is going on? I'm wrestling this cat.
I'm trying to find out. Keep a hold on him. Don't let him go. I'm gonna spend a willpower on the first one. And difficulty 8. All right. Come on, dice. Be nice to me.
You're not going nowhere, kitty.
Okay. All right, so that is 3 successes, including the willpower for the first one.
Excellent.
So, we'll go again.
Okay. So the difficulty does go up.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right, that's a 10. So that's 4, and then it didn't roll another one. So that would be 4.
Excellent.
Total.
That is 1 floor. Which floor are you starting with?
I knew that they were at the bottom, so
Yes.
that's going to be the first floor that she searches because she feels like that explosion is probably to do something with them. That one would think that if an explosion is happening, it's because we're tampering with something. So,
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing you get is that indeed a hole has been blown in the wall, and there is fire, but but it is being suppressed. So
okay,
you can get that sense. You don't know if either of them are like who's okay or what, but you know that that the fire is being dealt with. So there's that.
Okay.
But you also know that they are in a room that does not show up on the blueprints. Not only that, but that entire side of the ship doesn't show up in the blueprints. Somebody has like put in wall panels. Some of the walls you can tell are newer than others through that matter. And it still looks like those panels are about 10 to 15 years old.
Okay.
The original ones are more like 20 to 30. Maybe 25, somewhere in there. And then you also know that not only has some of that section been, or some of that floor has been sectioned off, it's been sectioned off towards the front as well. So
Okay.
you really couldn't tell when you had gotten into the submarine originally how big it was on the outside versus the inside. Because the inside felt cramped when you got in there. It was a submarine, it felt cramped. But there are definitely areas of the submarine that you did not know could be accessed from other parts. You also get that the engines are damaged but repairable.
Okay.
And I think that's everything for the lower floor.
Yeah. Did I take any paradox for doing that?
No, not for that.
Okay. Good to know. Nolan,
Yeah.
so looks like there was a fire on the 3rd floor. A hole was blasted in, but it's being contained. There's new stuff and old stuff. This
Maybe new
place has been sectioned.
You're not getting away. Hold still. Hold still.
This has been sectioned off. There's also a section towards the front of the ship as well that's been paneled up. And
What
the
do you mean?
engines.
Like a rec room?
No, like they built this part and then put panels to block off, like, you know, where like the hidden warp core thing is. This sub is bigger than we thought, and
Like okay.
I guess
in
like the
that
TARDIS
scan,
is bigger on the inside.
in
what?
that scan, you also get that there's no more power to the thing that was in the room with them, the thing that exploded.
Yeah,
I have an idea.
also, the things exploded. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
This cat is causing trouble. I have an idea. Though. Are you ready?
Yeah, what are you gonna
Okay,
do?
just hold on. I might.
String?
No. Oh shit. Yeah. I can't. I got it. And he's gonna pull out a laser pointer, and is going to aim it at the screen. And is going to do a conjunctional mind effect to make this the most attractive thing in the world.
Okay.
Hold on,
Yeah.
because this is about to get worse. So here's the mind effect. I'm spending a willpower.
Or better.
Yeah.
What's my difficulty on mine too? Probably
5.
Okay, then that's going to be 4 successes.
Cool. Yep.
He's going to fire the laser pointer. Go.
Yep.
Release the mouse. Click.
Yep.
And then drag it to the recycle bin.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my god.
Let me just. Oh no, I know it's happening. Okay, yep, that's fair. Yeah, you let go of the of Kibo's tail and drops down, looks at you, looks at the laser pointer that just comes out, kind of jumps after it straight into the recycle bin.
Empty recycle bin. Click, click. I don't think it'll kill it, but I think it will inconvenience it for a long while.
Did you just recycle the cat?
That remains to be seen, but, I think so.
You empty recycle bin, and
Good job,
it
Doc.
doesn't come back, as far as you can tell.
Pussy. Let's
Hey.
go. It's cat.
I know.
It was a cool guy line.
Yeah. Let's go see if they are okay.
It was cool in 2005.
Do you head to see if they're okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. On the bottom floor, you get the fire out. It's still smoky and hazy, and your lungs are not happy with you, but you're not taking any additional damage from the smoke. It's just irritating. And yeah, you're in this room. There's boxes and a bunch of weird stuff in here.
So that thing looks like it's cracked, right? Okay.
Yep.
I will say for the record that because that Heather works with tech, I'm pretty darn sure that she's got rubberized soles so that if she steps on something electric, it won't shock her.
Fair. That seems reasonable to me. Yep.
Okay. But she's still going to be very careful as approaching the thing that looks like it's cracked. Is going to pull out is going to try and figure out kind of like assess it a little bit, like do like a matter, like scan it with like to check with matter. Because there's a camera on the I figure on the back of the tablet or something that she can use to like figure out, like assess damage on things, or she's got a scanner or something like that. and is going to try to figure out a matter of fact and probably mixed with entropy to figure out what's decaying the worst. And
Okay.
then, so that's step one.
Cool. So matter and entropy, are you throwing anything else in there?
Maybe dimensional science, because we seem to be beyond the thing.
Cool. Yeah.
So she's going to take a couple possibly a minute or two, couple minutes to do this.
Sure.
Get a good idea.
Yep.
She has eye protection wear is up. She's got her gloves on. She's got her boots. She's got a scanner. And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We are going to call that difficulty of 5, actually.
I'm spending a willpower.
Cool. And yeah, how many successes are you kind of looking for? Are you just looking for as many as you can get?
Right now, as many as she can get to get a good picture of what is happening, like what is breaking down the most.
Okay.
And kind of like if it's like if things are coming out and like what needs to be contained.
Okay, cool.
If she needs to throw some prime into this too, then just because prime is, primal energies.
It is indeed. So we're gonna call that. So yeah, difficulty 5. Let's go difficulty 6 for all of the conjunctional effects in there, but but you're looking
Can
for.
I spend a primal energy into this to drop that down back to 5?
Yes.
Okay. And how many am I looking for?
You are looking for 3 will get you something.
Okay.
And if
So
you just
minimum
roll for the 1
3.
round, then yeah.
I think we'll probably try to do this because 1 round is about what, like a couple seconds, a minute?
It's like 6 seconds or something.
Seconds, yeah. So she will scan for a good minute to get a sense. Yeah.
Cool.
So a couple rounds.
Then so long as you're getting successes,
Mhm.
you can keep rolling.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the data is going to the tablet that she's got out.
Yeah. If
Which
you
is
bought,
scrapped.
you could
Yeah.
lose the tablet.
Okay, cool.
So just gonna put that out there.
Okay, so you said it was so the first round was with the quintessence
5.
Was 5,
It's
and then
5.
it goes up to
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Second round was I got one at 6. Another round, will that go up to 7?
Yes.
I'm going to throw another quintessence into this to keep it at 6 for now, because I feel like if this thing goes, it's going to be real bad. And I had spent that willpower, so that's at least 1.
Yeah, and you can spend more willpower into each additional round if you want. If you want to wipe out all your willpower, you can.
I'm going to spend another willpower.
Okay.
Because that brought it back down to 6 for that next round. And then that's a 10. So that's...
Cool.
Hold on.
Tegan and Nolan, you will come down as she's kind of doing this. And we should check in what Sophia is doing as you're rolling that. So just let me know in the chat when you've got it up. It'll keep going up by 1, so eventually you will get to 10.
Next one is... Yeah. I think I'm at 7 successes already.
Okay.
So I think I'll do 1 more at 7.
Okay.
And I'm spending 1 more willpower.
Cool. I'll check in with Sophia then. What are you up to as she's doing this?
I think just trying to look around and take it in, and if anything jumps out at me, it's kind of weird, investigate that a little bit more, that sort of thing, like kind of looking around and seeing what's there, or if there's any information.
Okay, yeah. Give me a... let's do perception and either alertness or investigation, depending on how you're going about this. So if you're like looking and focusing on small sections, at a time, you can do investigation. If you're just kind of glancing around at first,
I think maybe start with alertness and then move into investigation once maybe an area pops out.
Sure, absolutely.
That is definitely 2 successes at a minimum. What's the difficulty?
Let's just say 6.
Okay, that's 3 then.
Cool. Yeah, you look around, and at first you're like, this is like junk. It's mostly it's junk in here. Why would they seal off a room just full of junk? And then there's a box that only got slightly singed. It was right towards the edge, and you caught it kind of just at the right moment. And it's a box that is full of what look like hard drives. And you look closer at some of the boxes in that area, and you can roll me perception and investigation for that. Tegan and Nolan, you can come in at this point. So Sophia's looking in a section of boxes, and Heather is examining this weird warp core-esque junky looking thing in the center.
Okay, cool. What are we doing? How's everybody doing? Is everything good? I just deleted a cat.
Stay back. Stay back. And is otherwise just focused on what she's scanning.
Difficulty?
Okay.
6.
4 successes.
Cool. Give me a second while I look up some stuff.
Okay. And she'll just kind of start slowly telling the others, like, oh, well, the wall exploded and we found a room full of junk that's on fire and electrical, and I don't know what we found yet.
Cool.
Okay.
Nolan beat a computer cat. I did a scan of the ship. There's also another paneled off sections at the front of the sub. So more secret sub that we don't know about. And yeah.
Why is there so much sub?
It's just like an extra large sub, man, apparently.
It wasn't from the outside. How big is this stupid thing?
I don't know. We're trying to find
I'm
that
sorry,
out.
I shouldn't raise my voice. I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at this stupid ship. And I'm gonna kick the wall. Wang.
Don't kick the wall. Yeah, don't kick the wall.
You take a point of
Is there like electrical wires and stuff like loose, like sparking?
There's some over where Heather's standing.
Heather, do you want someone to help you contain that electrical?
Just stand back for now. I'm scanning.
Okay.
Sophia, you look in at this box of hard drives and you're like, this is weird. And then the next box over, that if you hadn't been so quick would have caught on fire, you can see paper. And you reach for it and you pull it out, and it's these giant sheets of original blueprints for an Aetherite spaceship.
Jackpot! Tegan, Heather,
Yeah. Hmm?
would you like the original blueprints?
Oh,
yeah. One
yeah. Do you have that? Oh shit.
I noticed I wasn't listed in that.
Yeah. Let me.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
are you a tech? You're a You're a head person.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Tegan would like to try and use her DEI to scan and basically try and upload a copy of those blueprints up into her brain.
Sure,
They've
yeah.
probably been altered, but this looks like it's potentially the original ship.
Yeah, no, that would be a great.
Original ship.
Potentially. Looks aetherite.
Huh.
Yeah, Tegan can scan it and upload it into your DEI memory.
Mm-hmm.
Heather, you're scanning, and the way you kind of went about this, I think, was almost like adding layers when you're doing like a Photoshop or something, right? You know, you started with your base layer of, okay, let's check out the forces and the matter, just the physical structure here and what are we dealing with. And then that didn't get you a lot. It you saw the physical damage. It's basically everything you can see with your eyes. Excuse me. And there's some severed wires here. That whatever was powering this seems to have been cut off. So there's while there's some sparking wires, they're not actually connected to this thing. They were part of like the ceiling that has kind of come in a little because of the explosion. It hasn't fully caved in, and there's actually, if you kind of look up through the bit of hole that is up there and see just darkness and like space you don't recognize. It's another location you haven't been. And then you're like, wait, this place is weird. This stuff is weird. I'm gonna look with dimensional science and primal utility.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do, one thing is immediately clear to you. This is, or was, because it's no longer, or it's currently not working. This was a wonder. And from what your scans are telling you, potentially a very powerful one.
Oh.
But it has been completely drained. Where is the rest of that? Sorry. This one. Nope. All of my notes. It definitely, it held quintessence or it held primal energy at one point. You also guess, based on your scans are picking up the power surges that went through this. And an educated guess, this is probably what caused most of the damage to the people as you came through the dimensional anomaly. You know that technocratic devices, you know that this is mage based. It's a wonder, not a device, but it's technology, so it's close, but weird. Technocratic devices, you know, you've learned this through your early training in the Void Engineers. You can't necessarily there's a risk to taking them through the dimensional anomaly, because they will also take damage from the dimensional anomaly. And you think that's what happened here. It had ability, came through, took enough damage. Yeah. And also caused everybody else to take extra damage.
Is it still leaking
No.
like radiation? No, it's just dead.
It's dead. Yeah.
Well, that's good news and bad news, I think.
What?
Well, it's no longer it's not giving off radiation.
Yeah,
anymore.
I did a quick scan of this floor for you guys, and I also found that there was nothing coming from that as well now.
That's what killed most of the people here. It wasn't just the
What?
anomaly, it was this thing failing.
The what thing?
This thing.
What
It's-
is it?
It's a wonder, or it was
A what? Like a magic
a
item?
wonder. It's not. Yeah, it's kind of like a
We do-
device, but weird.
We don't do magic items. That's them.
Yes, I know.
Wait. So we were underwater, and then we were suddenly through the dimensional anomaly.
Yeah.
And now the thing is dead.
So the good news is it's not radiating primal
Do you
energy
think-
anymore, which could, and so it's not gonna kill us that way.
But was
Bad news is I think we need it working to get back.
yeah. But do you was us getting transported an accident? Or did someone want that thing to be destroyed?
I'm trying to. Well, I mean, we did blow up the base, which could have caused a chain reaction if this thing got triggered by it.
Let's hope that.
Do you think that is?
I don't know, but if this is something powerful in mages, if they knew something about this, you know that going through the dimensional anomaly killed it. What if someone else knew that too? I mean, I'm hoping it was an accident caused by the thing, but what if it wasn't? What if we were all sent out to space to die?
Oh well, that seems more fair. We just get it fixed. I mean, you guys can fix it up, right?
Heather's looking down at her tablet, which basically has like scans. Like I think while she was doing this, she was probably like walking around it a little bit and like kind of getting like a 3D scan of it as part of her, and also kind of getting a sense of the room and as much of like what's connected to this thing.
Yeah.
That's what she was like part of what she was actively looking for and trying to see.
Yeah.
Um,
You have almost every sphere, right?
Almost. I'm missing life, mind, and time.
You didn't include it, but because you have Prime on here as well,
Mhm.
you do recognize that the other, another part of this is that what Sophia mentioned, that like data, but not.
So it's noted, like kind of registering there's something, but it's not quite compatible with what I'm doing.
You're like, I could maybe understand it. You're also,
It would take a while.
it would take a while. You also recognize that while you got some flavors of dimensional science here as well, it's also slightly different. But you also know that mages don't necessarily call it dimensional science.
So
Different
I
viewpoints.
can start repairing it, but unless we find a way to match the energies that aren't compatible with our science, we're gonna be a little bit stuck.
I
And
also
it's got no
scanned
power.
the ship, and the engines are repairable. I don't know if we could try going home on the sub engines through space. but
That won't
also-
take us through the anomaly. That'll just move us through space.
Mm.
And unless you know where in space we are, that could take several hundreds of thousands of years.
Like-
Heather and Nolan, give me a intelligence and like cosmology or
I have cosmology.
science or something along those lines.
Paraphysics?
Cosmology is better for you.
Okay. Cosmology.
Okay.
And
I'll default to
intelligence?
cosmology.
'Kay.
Even though my science is way better, I don't think psychology is really going to apply.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, that was a rough roll just because they fell out of my hand weird. 1-7. That's my best.
Sorry, what was the difficulty?
We'll do difficulty 6 on this.
4 successes.
Nice. Nolan, you were a late addition to the Void Engineers, so you didn't necessarily get all of the training that they give people who might one day travel beyond the dimensional anomaly. But Heather, you suddenly remember one of those classes that they made you take that you didn't really care about because you just wanted to deal with the mechanics, but something stuck out to you where it's very dangerous for anyone to be beyond the dimensional anomaly for more than 3 months.
Discorporation.
It's called the 90-day rule. Yeah, but 90-day rule and then, yeah, discorporation.
So, not to make things even, well, we have 90 days.
What?
89 days.
Till
I was going to say 89
To what?
probably.
for what?
To get back.
Huh. Or for what? Your credit card expired?
Do we die?
Actually, I think it might. I haven't renewed that in a while. No, but then we discorporate and we're gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
That's true.
Also, slightly. Nolan has
Probably painless, but I think it would suck.
suspicions about this AI cat that's on the OS system.
Just give it some mice.
I recycled it. I deleted it. I think I deleted it.
Yeah. Well.
Does that work?
Mm.
Don't you have to empty the recycling bin for it to actually delete?
I did.
Yeah, but I
I
don't
hope we
trust
don't
that.
need it.
The cat will come back the very next day. We thought it was a goner.
And cats do have 9 lives.
Yeah,
recycle
so my
it.
And we
food-
are beyond the anomaly, so
Yeah.
who knows? We might end up with a weird digital glitch cat that wanders around after us.
Yeah, because he was kind of holding that, like, he was holding a red glowing thingy right about the time that went boom.
Mhm.
So it's
Well, you don't think it was using it to alert you?
I mean, maybe
Because this thing already was it was already detonating, I'm fairly certain. But I
Okay.
mean, I'm assuming that it kind of was based on like the
Yeah.
the entropy part of this. Like it was already going.
Oh, so
Okay.
maybe he's a helpful cat.
Maybe.
It was a helpful cat. I think I killed it. Let's just get all on the same page here.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a Union ship.
No. Well, not this part of it anyway. That part is. That part is textbook Union. There's just
So they repurposed an etherite void ship?
yes.
I guess waste not one.
Yeah.
Huh?
Does seem like
Okay.
that.
with a magical, powerful
It probably
mage artifact
they
in
didn't
the
need
middle.
nearly as much.
So they took a
fuel?
Tesla and put a big block Hemi in it? Or I guess they took like a GTO and built a Tesla frame around it?
Or they took a. Yeah, I guess so.
There's another closed off section. I can also spend time and scan the other 2 levels of the ship. But I feel like we need to bust
fix
open this
I think we
ship
need to
and
fix this. But
yes.
it's going to take a while because I need to figure out what they were using. It's not quite data and it's not quite dimensional science.
What do you mean?
It's similar, but the readings aren't right,
It's what? The mage version?
basically.
Oh, spirit magic.
If you must call it that.
You said the mage version. That's what they call it. They're wrong, but it's what they call it.
Yeah, so now we need to make, fantastical
Mage.
magic fit my data. It doesn't
Okay.
fit the numbers
I also
or the
have data.
schematics.
I'm also very good with data, so I don't know. I could maybe help you try and figure out that crap. I don't have anything with spirit.
What do you need to have it do?
Match it, I'm assuming? To get it going back again?
Well, this thing takes a certain type of energy to run, and if without it, it's just not going to start. It might just blow up again.
Well,
I'm
then
not
at least
sure.
it'll be a quick death and we won't have to, slowly discorporate.
Yeah, I don't want to do that, though.
I don't either.
So,
I just got a
89
super big
days.
promotion.
That's
Well,
good
that's
that
nice for you.
That you don't want to, discorporate into nothing.
For all I know, it might be very, very painful as your cells start deteriorating, degrading and trying to
Generally so.
adapt.
Yeah.
Or it could be very painless and you just sort of fade away and don't even realize it.
Like Thanos snapping.
Yeah. Although I do wonder if that was actually that painless. It looked really painful.
I mean, you just said, Mr. Stark, I don't want to go. He didn't really scream.
Maybe
But who knows?
they're
Maybe
heroes. You can't have it. You can't have them screaming in a hero movie. That just doesn't look good.
So
That's
where's the other thing we've got to break? I really want to know what's on the other side of the wall. Are we going to find out this is an Afandi ship? Or a Marauder ship?
Oh, that's fun. I mean, it's at the front.
I think
On
we'd
this
probably
level,
be having
or
a
a-
lot
Go
more fun if it was a
the-
marauder ship.
Well, let's go.
Or we'd care
And
less
that
about
seems
dying.
a little improbable considering it's already an Aetherite ship that's been repurposed by the Technocratic Unit to have then been something that
Maybe.
they've repurposed from somebody else.
Boy, that would be a fun case of hand-me-down ships.
It's like when you take a screenshot of a tweet
Well-
and post it on Tumblr, and then and then you get the comments from Tumblr, and then it gets screenshotted again, and
That
ends
does
up on
explain
Facebook.
a lot of this
I
ship,
don't
the way
think
that the
much about a
pixels
lot of
degrade.
other people. However, I don't feel like anybody's quite stupid enough to repurpose Nefondic property.
Unless they didn't know that it was Nefandi.
Are
They're
you?
not always the most
Have
obvious.
you read any of the post-World War II files?
Yes, but did the Aetherites?
Did you read?
I don't know what they read.
Did you read the? Oh yeah, you. When you look at redacted files, you see the black bars.
Do you not?
I do now. I didn't used to. All right, let's find that compartment. The NWO
Yeah,
has a
if you-
reverse highlighter.
Oh.
I'm suddenly a lot more concerned about this.
Yeah.
You know that a lot of Nefandi were forgiven after World War II, right?
Yeah,
Just like the
but
Nazis. Okay, not a lot of them, but I figure, I mean, even if 2 of them, if I had a nickel for every time a Nefandi was forgiven for war crimes, I'd have like 2 nickels.
At least 1 nickel.
Which isn't a lot, but it's too many.
But it's enough.
It's enough.
It is concerning that it's happened at least more than once.
Mm-hmm. Where's the compartment?
I'll follow me. I
Yeah. I'll follow in
Gladly.
a second. I feel bad believing this way. And Heather's gonna pull out a thing of duct tape from her like thing of things and is going to go over to like the worst, like hopefully it's not completely shattered and it's just like a hole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is going to duct tape over that entire section. At least we know it won't leak for now. But we should probably get out of here because those wires are all live still.
I mean, I could clamp those down for now if we want to not work on a live electrical setting right now. You know, just tamper
That
down
sounds
those.
like a tomorrow problem until after we figure out what else is.
All right, let's go bust some more holes in this ship.
Mhm.
I'm
You
here
head
for it.
off towards the front area of the ship, and yeah, way before what you should, way before where you think you should be able to go, there's a wall, and it looks weirdly natural.
Heather would have stopped to grab her tools for doing like the heavy duty stuff so that she can literally take down the wall
Cool. Yep.
if needed to with like a plasma cutter or whatever to just pull it down.
Yeah. Absolutely. There are no secret explosions behind this wall, so you can absolutely just take your time and break it down, however you need to. You cut a door in it, basically, and as you do, the piece of metal, you know, kind of you kick it. Someone kicks it. Maybe Sophia kicks it, and it just falls in. And it opens up into this large room with another one of those windows, like upstairs, open in it. Not like open to space, but just you can see out.
Whoosh, we all get sucked out and die.
End of Chronicle. I'm done now.
Right.
That's a way to do it.
Right?
Rocks
But you
fall,
can see.
everyone dies.
You can see out into the absolute blackness. And everybody give me perception and awareness, difficulty of 6.
Okay, if astute applies, I do have a 10.
Cool, yeah, astute applies.
Okay, didn't matter.
Okay.
So 2 successes from me.
Okay.
0. I keep getting freaking 1s today that cancel out
Oh yeah,
my
I've
success.
gotten so many 1s today. I feel you.
So many 1s. It's a goose egg.
Aw.
I've not rolled like I think I've rolled like successes a couple times, but man, it's been a rough session for Tegan.
Tegan's not having a great day.
I keep managing to just basically roll a lot of the difficulty. level.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like exactly on it.
So Tegan, I think you're just like another window, and you kind of look at it, but you're more interested in the rest of the room at this point. But the other 3 of you, as you look out the window, you can see this. It's black. It's completely black. You're not seeing anything until this golden green, almost like Aurora Borealis, actually, like plays across the sky, or what you think is the sky. Space, I guess. But Sophia, you as you see that, you see how the light is showing you an edge of something. Like there's something that the ship is maybe resting on. It's just a flicker as the lights kind of pass. But there's definitely something else about where you are that isn't just you being in space with nothing else here. For those of you looking outside, you also notice that aside from these lights, you don't see stars.
Hey, what are we looking at here?
Huh?
Do I have a sense of what that is?
Roll me, actually, everybody, including Tegan, you just won't understand what's happening. Roll me a willpower roll with your current level of willpower.
No.
So if I have spent 4, am I rolling 1? If I have 5 total, like a pool of 5?
Yeah, I'm down to
Ow.
4.
I have 5.
Oh.
Your difficulty is 10 minus your Rattray rating.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's nice for me.
3 successes. I guess 10s don't explode on this.
So
They do not.
I've spent 4 out of my 5 willpower. I rolled a single dice.
Mhm.
My enlightenment is 2, so my difficulty would be 8.
Does
I will-
Iron Will apply to this?
Yes.
Okay, so I get 3 extra dice.
Nice.
Amy, take your luck back. I rolled 2 1s, so that's 0 successes for Tess. Or Tegan.
Who's Tess?
I don't know.
You've forgotten your name.
Tegan
It's-
wants
I
to
forgot
be.
my name.
Focus, Robin. Focus.
My luck is not
Yeah.
good.
There we go. Nice. Sophia, you're watching this. You part of why this doesn't affect you so much is because you can see the edges. It's like you're watching it's like you're watching a play and you're seeing like behind the curtain. That's the feeling you're getting from this. Is that there's something there, you're like watching something happening just beyond reach. Other than that, you are fine. Nolan, you got 3, yes?
I got 3.
Cool. You're watching this and you're starting to hear whispers. And it is a familiar sense from when you came through the dimensional anomaly. It's these whispering voices that are almost screams. And you think you're looking at the dimensional anomaly. Heather, you got 1? You look out and you see this and you hear screaming in your head. And it is exactly like when you came through the anomaly. It's almost painful. You don't take any damage from it because you're not actually going through it. But witnessing it again, it hurts. And Tegan, first of all, you lose a point of willpower. Not like permanently, just a temporary point of willpower.
Okay.
And this is actually kind of perfect because you are insensate to pain.
Yep.
But much like when you came through the dimensional anomaly, you feel this again, and you haven't felt pain except for that in years, ever since your surgeries.
Mhm.
And you feel pain again, and you drop to your knees, and you scream along with the screams in your head.
Yeah, I'll save the audience and everyone's
Yeah.
ears. But yes, Tegan wails.
Are you okay? What?
Ow! Maybe don't let her look at that. It's pretty nasty.
No, it's
It passes after a few seconds, so you can kind of come back from it.
no, it's
Ow.
the anomaly.
Well, that explains that.
Does that mean we're like right next to home? We just.
Get out and push.
I mean,
Is that how that works?
do we have any sense of propulsion here?
I mean, that's what I say. If we get the sub engines fixed, maybe.
Might be able to
What is that?
drive it?
There's a lot of different theories on what it is.
It kind of just looks like something being put on before a curtain.
What do you mean?
It feels like there's an edge to it.
Well, it's part of this dimensional boundary.
Yeah, I
Does
have
that
no
make
idea.
sense to me, or does it seem like this is maybe like a fake or fakery with what I was sensing of it?
Both make sense. There could be sense in what he's saying, but it also, something feels more unreal about this than just you were at one point in the ocean and then you were in space.
This doesn't quite feel right.
Okay, hold on a
Very
sec.
unreal. More than just like being in the ocean, now being in space.
Shh. Everybody, shut up a sec. Sorry, not to be rude, but just, I need. Did anybody bring their coffee cup?
No.
Okay, I'll be
It's
right
back
back.
there on the ground.
Okay,
if it's
he's gonna
still
run
got
back and get his
anything in it.
coffee cup. Not gonna waste your coffee. He's gonna run back to the window thing, put the coffee cup against it, put his ear against it, and go.
Mine one was a thermos.
Let me just wipe the coffee off my pants. I thought I got it all.
Kelly gets super into his characters that he just.
Acting.
This is method acting.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna dump the thermos then, which is even better because then it's a metal conduction. Put it to his ear, like so, but tilted up. And is going to go boom against the wall as he's listening.
Okay.
Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. And I'm gonna use Spirit 1 to try to see if I can detect Spirit 1 to Dimensional Science 1 which spirit realm we're in and or what the gauntlet is around here.
Absolutely. Hit
I'm just
me
in
with
What?
curious, do I understand what he's doing at all with cosmology and dimensional science too?
Roll
Not to be
me
into it, but just to know.
yeah, roll me int in cosmology. But your difficulty is going to be 4 because you do have dimensional science.
Do I have spirit or dimensional science? I forget. Did
I think you have dimensional science.
Okay. So that's going to be a 5, a 6, and a 6.
Does my intelligence creative apply here?
I'm going to say yes because you're trying to interpret someone else's
Thought process,
everything.
kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm basically doing like artificial sonar, just trying to hear the sound of the gauntlet.
And you said my difficulty was 4?
4. Yeah.
That is 6 successes.
Nice. Yeah, you when he hits the window, you're like, I know what he's doing. And you absolutely are like, wait, he's looking to try and figure out where we are.
And I'm like, oh, and while he's doing that, I'm gonna be like, we might not.
Nolan, you hit the window and you listen intently. And coming back from the nothingness outside there is an echo. And you realize that you are inside a contradiction within a contradiction. You're in a place that the technocracy doesn't even acknowledge sometimes. Void engineers, maybe. Everyone else, not a chance. The mages call this the null zone.
What do I remember about that?
You have cosmology, right?
I have 1 point of cosmology. I have 1 point.
Okay, roll me int in cosmology. Or esoterica if you prefer. But
oh, I think I know some things. Let me just check to see if I have esoterica.
you're gonna say difficulty of 6.
3 successes.
Nice. The null zone is also a another phrase that's colloquially used to describe it is it's like backstage at a theater. It's the tunnels between realms that you can use to go between realms very easily. The problem that you are going to have, and that the problem that you have been having, is that technology doesn't work in the null zone. Magic does.
Oh,
You're
balls.
actually not sure. You're actually not sure how the technology on the ship is working right now.
Oh, I know how it's working. Y'all seen Cowboy Bebop?
What?
I think so.
Okay, so it's this anime that came out in like 1997 and or 96.
Yeah, I watched.
I watched
live
it.
action adaptation.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
No. I'm just saying. Why? How is this?
Okay.
Why
Okay. You don't understand dimensional science. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a crash course in it right now. Cowboy Bebop actually got a couple things right. One of the things that it got right off the bat was that their transdimensional warp theory. Basically, what they do is, you ever seen film, like film strip, like a video? Okay,
Yes.
the way that their teleportation warp drive works is not that they go past the speed of light. It's not that they go through another dimension necessarily. Well, sort of. It's not warp. It's not light speed. What they do is they manage to access a subdimension that is basically, if you picture a string of film. Film works on 24 frames a second, right? That's the way it works to make visual components to the eye. Inside of that, it's this nice little meta commentary on the nature of film and the way that it works with the audience. But the long and short of it is what they do to travel from point A to point B is that they move into the gutter between the frames. So if you look at a film strip, there's the white space between the two pictures. So they transport to the dimension that is the white space. So they move at 1/24th the speed, or I guess 24 times the speed. If you follow? That kind of works, and we're there. It's theoretical. It's heretical. It's a place called the null zone. It doesn't exist on the books for the Union, for the most part, that we're supposed to talk about.
Never heard of that
I think that's
before.
the point.
The ship, technology doesn't work in the null zone.
Then why is this working?
Yeah, how is my stuff working? I am like half a third technology at this point.
Or is it going to break down and deteriorate more quickly because it shouldn't be here?
I have a theory.
I'm all ears.
Yeah, a null theory.
What? No,
You have a theory,
scientific.
a null. Okay.
No, it's a scientific. We're guests of this shit. No, that doesn't make any sense. We accidentally fell into a gap that we shouldn't have had access to, except that this ship isn't a technocratic ship.
So it's got enough of the anomaly running through it that it can exist here.
It's got enough not our science, it's got mad kooky science, which counts as magic. This isn't an aetherite vessel, or this isn't a technocratic vessel, it is an aetherite vessel. I knew I'd heard that name Kibo before. It's an AI program from the 90s or early 2000s. It's a virtual adept ice program or something.
Tied into a system of...
This is a tradition ship. It's just got a Tesla body on top of it.
So... do we make... if we can't learn how to make it match our way of doing things,
We're probably...
you saying to get home, we have to do it their way?
Do we have to learn magic?
I'm not gonna start scrawling runes and scribbles on the walls to make it work.
Yeah, there's no moon cycles that I can
There's a
follow
reason they
to
call it
extract the
mad
crystals.
It doesn't make sense.
Like, I guess if we did some chanting, we might be able to hit the right frequencies for resonances.
Come on, guys. Let's wishes. Let's just have a group orgy, and that'll create enough magic we can get out of
Your dreams.
We can't. There's nothing we can do. It doesn't work if it doesn't work for you. You can't learn magic. We tried it in labs tons of times. They should.
Unless we make the magic science.
No, because we know that it doesn't work.
Unless we know that it works.
Do we have any propulsion at all?
No, we're dead in
I'm
space
saying
right
we can. The engines are fixed, easily repairable. We could try and get propulsion from those.
Okay, I have an idea.
Is this space like? Is it if we give ourselves a bit of push, we can kind of float because there's lack of gravity?
I don't think we're going to be able to go through that, though.
We will not be able to go through that because we don't have anything to do the jumping. We would just either run into
Bounce
it or
off
just
of it?
go to the other side, but we would still be here.
Okay, well, there is something else we could do.
What?
The null space doesn't technically, the null zone doesn't technically exist in any way that really applies to the Union. It is not colonized space.
What, you want us to colonize it?
You want to colonize?
By us. We have to go look for a mechanic. We have to go hire a tradition mage that's somewhere in the null zone. We got to go find someone that's already here and convince him to give us a hand. We got to get a jump start from the traditions.
And how do we find that? Is there a map?
Yeah.
Is there a system? Hold on. If this is the front of the ship, the sub.
Well, just check Tinder. Hot single mages in your area want to help you play with your tools. Like,
hold on. Let me just. Okay. Heather's gonna open up her
Are you actually
one of the
opening up
network
Tinder?
apps. Like turns up and is going to not Tinder, but is going to go check one of the sites.
No, he's saying that in
has,
character.
No, but you gave me an idea, and it's going to go to one of open up an internet browser,
Bumble,
and see if there's a cached version of
Thorn?
what any of the.
I think at this
If
point,
anything
Sophia's
saves.
found a clear crate and has gone and just sat on it and is watching the chaos at this point.
Totally fair, yeah.
Because what she's gonna do is gonna open up, hopefully
here.
opening up a cached version of a website that has that kind of junky like the ones that do have the ads that pop up saying hot singles in your area, and is gonna see and be like, I'm just gonna look. Who knows? We're in a place that doesn't exist. Nothing makes sense. Tech isn't real. You want us to be a mage. I'm gonna go see if the internet and entropy makes this happen.
If a cat answers, don't
Can I make
respond.
this an entropic effect? Can I do
Okay.
that?
Yeah, you can do that. This is so
For
good.
a
Thank you.
data, I guess a data adjacent entropy effect to see if there is actually a mage in our area.
Okay.
Oh,
What do you
please.
want me to do? for
Jen,
this?
I want one thing out of this, and I
Yeah.
want to tell you what I want.
Uh-huh.
What's my difficulty? I'm gonna throw willpower at this. This is my last willpower because Heather's
Okay.
just done.
Yeah, you really are.
Okay.
Yeah. Give that to me at a difficulty of how much entropy do you have?
How much entropy? I've got 2 dots.
Okay. Let's go difficulty of 6.
Okay.
Spent a
Let me-
willpower.
Spend a willpower. So that's 1 already. And I'm rolling 2 dice for this because I have Enlightenment 2. Let's go. That
You guys
is
can't-
another 6. That is 1 more success. That's 2 successes total.
Okay.
You can't see that I'm
Um,
screaming at Jen in the chat right now, asking for wants. Bring me Mariana!
And I know what
Maybe
you're
for
talking about
good.
too.
Because we've been there. Been a different game.
Okay. You open up your data pad and you open the internet. And you get what comes up first is the little logo of no internet.
Yeah.
Right. And you throw the entropy into it and you're like, give me what I want.
Yeah.
And it flickers and a website comes up. And you see the hot singles in your area kind of thing. But when you click on it, you unfortunately don't get anything terribly useful, but you do get Kibo's face. I'm single.
Oh my god.
I found the cat.
Great.
You know what? I'm glad I didn't
You seem
delete
like
him.
you need help.
Guess it jumped to the system before because I was transferring data. I don't. Can you? I feel like an idiot. Can you show us where to find mages?
Before I actually, I'm gonna,
Or
Before I do
reality
this.
deviants?
Sophia, you are sitting on a crate. You're just watching this happen, and you've had a bunch of experiences with primal utility and the dimensional anomaly out there, and it's just there's been a lot of this energy around, And so without even looking for it, the moment you see Heather's face kind of drop as she realizes she has the cat and not what she was looking for, you realize that half a second before that, the hairs on the back of your neck stood up, focused on that data pad. You're almost like a danger sense. Not so much a danger sense, but like a instinct. Where you're just like something with that signature showed up on her data pad.
So it's like a prime effect?
If you want to look at her data pad a bit closer, you can.
Yes, I will. What would you like me to roll?
Give me just roll your enlightenment, difficulty 3, because you've been doing this a lot, and I didn't say that the scene ended with your prime, so you just don't have it up, but cool. Yeah, you're just like, okay, let's like activate that gene mutation I have to turn on prime sight, essentially. And you look at her data pad, and it's small. It's not fully formed, but you think there's an avatar in there. There's a genius in there. There's an eidolon in there. And Heather, as you ask for Kibo to show you where you can find mages, Kibo goes, I'm a mage.
You're an AI cat.
No, it has avatar. And she's going to look at it, like just look very intent at your tablet that you're holding.
How did you get in
I
here?
felt that before you recognized it. Oh, that's an effect.
That's unsettling.
I was put here to protect this, and the fractal comes up. Tegan, if you're looking at it, you do recognize it's the same one you saw. Same, Nolan.
What is this?
That's a fractal that we found on the Doom when I was playing Doom. Well, Nolan found it while I was playing Doom.
Can it help us on the ship?
Probably. It's everything I know. Everything she knew. Everything I know.
Who?
I'm confused.
Who's she?
Guessing you're mage?
The Fisher Princess.
Sure.
Sure.
Does that ring any bells? Esoterica reality
Unlikely.
deviance.
Go roll me Esoterica, Reality Deviance, and Intelligence,
Okay.
and difficulty of 9, because this is deep lore.
Heather's like poking like at the screen.
110.
Like, poking her face on the touch screen.
Those moments where
feel
the
that?
character has no academics, so I can't even make a joke about it.
Right? You know where my brain's at as well. But Sophia, you hear the Fisher Princess, and it takes you a minute, because this was well before your time.
And I've probably only heard it in passing type thing.
Yeah. The Fisher Princess was the name of a reality deviant, specifically a virtual adept, from the late 90s, early 2000s, before she vanished.
Hey,
What?
Kibo.
I've heard of the Fisher Princess before.
How can I help?
Can you download that? Can I download your fractal?
If you want.
What will happen if she does?
I don't know. I'm just a cat.
Okay.
We're all a cat.
Right. Oh, this may be the stupid thing, but if it has the knowledge of a mage, you're gonna see
I don't know if it has a knowledge of a mage. Looks like
I mean, if
piece
it's
of a mage.
a piece of a mage. Tess will go in and remove her cybernetic eye that has like a little like USB slot on the back and be like,
That
Jesus.
is fascinating. How does it do that?
I press a button and it kind of clicks off.
Do you have a USB port in your eye socket then?
No, it retracts and she'll press a button and then
Oh.
like the optic nerve bit comes out.
The Fisher Princess was a virtual adept in the late 90s.
I mean,
And then she just didn't show up again.
the digital web crashed. That makes sense. A lot of virtual adepts got white screened. It was a big boon for us, actually. I mean,
But
did I
if
say us?
that's-
It was kind of before my time. Like, I didn't.
You mean us, like the Union?
I mean, us, the Union. I didn't join up until 2001.
But if that's one of hers, you might not want to put it in your own systems.
To be fair, though, you might be running on a different operating system. Might be like a Mac Windows thing.
Yeah, we can see.
Android iOS.
But if I could figure out, oh, this could help us fix the ship and go home.
It's your brain.
Yep, that's my. And she will
If you-
go to the data pad with Heather's and be like,
Yep.
hey, juice me up.
Hey, before you do that, look, you should be fortified for this, okay? So,
Firewalls.
I
So you don't
help-
end up like with just a cat in your eye.
I
Yeah.
can help you with that in two ways. One is I could give you a psychotropic reagent that could make it harder for any type of invasive protocol to actually find what it's looking for.
Okay.
Or I could try to bolster you with some psychological conditioning using flashing lights. I'll be honest, it's not as effective, but you won't be high as balls.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be high.
It's more effective. And you might think like one of them for a little bit. More fun.
All right, give me your.
Or I can do the light.
You're the doctor. What do you recommend?
Stick out your tongue. Okay, he's gonna give her a shot. He's gonna pop this and go. Okay, hold still. Right on her tongue. And not my keyboard. It doesn't taste like much of anything. Probably a little bitter. I wouldn't know in real life, but hey. Ooh, that's way too sweet in real life. You know what? Let's do them both. Look here. And I'm gonna cast Mind 3 to raise her temporary willpower for Mind Shield.
Nice.
But that is a microdose of LSD.
Nice.
Fair. Yeah.
How much kind of willpower? What's my difficulty?
Yep. 3 plus 4, 7. 6 for using your instruments.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a point of primal energy.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to aim for 5 successes.
Cool.
Oh boy. I spent 1 point of primal energy and a willpower. Okay. Okay, I have 3 successes with no. I don't. I have 2 successes with that. Balls. So
I will let you spend another point of willpower to force it through to the next round.
Okay.
That's not a success. That's just you being able to hold on to it.
Okay, sounds good. So that means that I am at difficulty of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 now? 7?
6, yeah. 6. Because you dropped it. I dropped it to 6, you dropped it to 5 with
That's right. And,
primal energy.
there we go. 3 successes.
Nice. So
Okay.
you squirt the little bit on her tongue and start flashing the light, and you're a little rattled. So at first, you get a little distracted
Okay,
by
shit.
the,
I got it.
and then and then you push through and you manage to do it. And so what exactly does that give her?
Basically, it's going to give her it's going to give her a. I'll give it to her for an hour. So I'll put 2 successes into duration and base success. So it'll be a 3 potency mind shield.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you have a 3 potency mind shield.
Woo! And then she will, All right. I am just the right amount of high to do this now.
Wait, what's your operating system? Because this is a 1-pad?
I hacked my own system to kind of be multi systems.
Linux.
I can kind of adapt on the fly. Yeah, it's like Linux.
Does that void your warranties?
Yes.
All she's doing is she's
For
handing the
sure.
tablet over to be plugged in.
Yep. And I'll plug in the eye to Kibo to this tablet to start downloading this fractal into my DEI.
Yeah. Do you get the information? Like, is it that you have to put the eye back before you can kind of access the information?
I think so. I think that's kind of how I've done it in
Okay.
previous stuff. So. she
So yeah,
downloads it.
you connect it to the data pad and initiate a transfer of information.
Mhm.
A bunch of lines of code come up and you know that it's transferred to your eye, and it looked like it went all right.
All right. Hopefully I don't melt my brain. Pops the eye back in.
You put your eye back in, and I am spending my last hurt the more to do this,
Amazing.
because I spent another one quietly, but
I tried.
you put the eye back in and are immediately bombarded with millions of early 2000 memes.
I can ask cheeseburger. I can ask cheeseburger. Lo 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 lo.
That's 2007,
Pools-
thank you. I did my research.
Oh, sorry. Pool's closed. I'm not going to finish the quote, but pool's closed.
Yeah, right, yeah. And Tegan is going to pass out. You don't feel any pain, just your operating system is like, nope. And you go down. And I'm gonna call game there.
Oh.
Oh,
You-
it's so good.
For the
You've got a
record,
cat
there
in your
is other
brain.
information in there. It's just Kibo likes memes.
Yeah.
And collected a
Yup.
bunch of memes.
Yeah, it's a
Oh my
lolcat.
God.
Yeah.
I think Heather looks down to check if Kibo's still on the tablet or if it's like jumped ship and is now hanging out in
Tegan.
Tegan's
Kibo is still on
eye.
the tablet.
Okay,
Kibo is
cool.
still on the tablet. Yeah.
And I do want to check real quick.
Yeah.
She was poking at it like with the touch screen, like actually like do like petting it kind of.
Yeah.
If it was
It's kind of like
better.
leaning into your
It
finger.
was like interactable, like kind of thing. It's like, oh, it's like those like old like Ken dogs kind of thing. Well, this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Do I have to feed it? It's like a Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Heather gets a
Been eating
familiar.
this
It's a
entire
Tamagotchi.
time.
God.
Oh man. Yeah. So that was game. I didn't get through nearly all of the lore drop I wanted to, but I got through a lot of it, and
Nice.
Tegan has the rest of it.
What
Yay.
can I say except you're welcome? Oh my god.
For the
I was just
cat
kind of
that I
like, are you
stuck in
sure
my
you
brain.
want the construct of a 90s virtual adept in your head? But okay.
Yup.
Yep.
Somebody's gotta.
Yup. So I was
Uh.
like, I don't know if this cat can help us much, but man, if someone has to figure out how the fuck we're being a mage, well,
Yep.
better download
GG,
it.
Jen. That picked up a lot after the second half. That was great.
Good.
It's very fun.
I'm gonna give you 5 experience each.
I have 10 experience points.
Me
Nice.
too.
Exciting.
I have.
I figured out my
6.
math. I understood what that 5 was left over from. It was because I hadn't spent everything last time.
Yeah.
So I can count.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope you and the audience all enjoyed that.
Oh
I
my.
enjoyed that immensely.
I had a lot of fun planning it. So
That was a lot of fun.
That was.
So I was kind of sitting there towards the end going, crap, we need to go like treat with a virtual adept or something. I'm supposed to be killing those things.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have so much fun.
hey,
And this is gonna be like, this is your job now. I don't talk to people.
Sophia is the face, and
Yep.
really shouldn't be.
Not in
None
the
of us
slightest
should be the
bit.
face.
None of us
Rightly
should be the face.
God.
I have literal flaws that mean I should not be the face.
Right?
See,
and-
I have the
Other
flaw of
people-
overconfidence, so of course Tegan's
too,
gonna
high
take the fractal because she can handle it.
Whimsy.
I think Heather wants to.
Whimsy
I
was
think
great.
Heather kind of wants to see if she can like convert like reality deviant esoteric runes into like physics equations.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be a
Yep.
bad time for everybody.
It's great. It's so good. What? Oops,
Turning
where's my-
alchemy into like mathematical equations. I'm sure it'll work just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the basis of science. Like you can just
Yeah.
I mean, if they're adding like fire, that's like a bunch of different components.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic job, Jen. Good job. I can't wait for next month, where hopefully we will make it to the Pleasure Dome of Balador. That is my goal. I haven't been there in almost a decade. I need to head back. Oh my god, it's been a decade since we were at the Pleasure Dome. My god, time's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
time is weird.
I like how we were all kind of ragging on our own traditions. Was great.
Also, I have to say that watching Kelly's expression as Nolan clues in, and then just letting you like go on a lore drop was great.
Okay, cool.
I'm like,
I
oh,
was
don't have to do
like, I can translate this. The hard thing is measuring how much he knows / remembers from his times, and then being like, okay, what can I purposely get wrong as we're doing this?
And there's also like, how much do you remember about like the technical stuff? But you're like, shit, why do I know this kind of thing? It's like, where did I learn that? I don't remember where I learned that. Oh no.
Mm,
right?
yeah.
It's always fun.
I
But
love
listening
playing
to you all
characters. Like,
debate being technocrats versus being mages was great. too.
You want me to?
I was just like, mad science makes no sense. And then our other game, I'm like, mad science makes all the sense.
All the sense, more
Yep,
sense
yep.
than anything.
Just do the cycles of the moon and let's all have a giant orgy because I'm sure that's how it works, right?
good. So good.
I just
It's like,
realized that
live
I
your
normally
dreams.
play Teddy or the other guy who's very sex focused,
It's like,
and I'm like,
Mhm.
no,
Lycanthropic.
we're not having sex in this game. That's a nice.
but you are
change.
into drugs. Teddy is also into drugs, so
Eh,
Yeah.
drugs are into Teddy.
And Nolan is more interested in giving drugs to other people, and Teddy
that's
is both
true.
himself and
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't
Yeah,
even know.
Teddy
Like, Heather's
shares,
just
but he
like,
also takes them.
I just build things.
Yep.
All right.
Well-
So, folks, that is going to be it
Yeah.
from us tonight. If Jen's done, let me do.
I'm
a quick,
done.
Give me a quick Patreon thank you, folks. If you are watching this right now, live, or immediately after using the VOD link on Patreon, I need to thank you because you are the one who is keeping the stream going, who are keeping the channel going. Dork Tales is a full-time endeavor, and it requires a lot of funding and a lot of support, and a lot of the support comes from you and of course from these amazing players who come here, and Jen as an amazing storyteller, to make this happen. If you like what we do here and you want to keep supporting this, or if you're watching this on the general release sometime in a couple of months, please go to patreon.com/dorktales, where for less than a cup of coffee a month, you can join a tier, the $5 tier, that gets you early access to this and a ton of additional content. At higher tiers, you get a bunch of additional things where you can start suggesting plots, suggesting names, all sorts of cool stuff, and more stuff that we're going to be adding in the near future to get you more interaction. At the very least, though, join our Discord, come hang out, leave comments, because it really does matter when we see positivity come in. And I just love having a great community, and you are a part of that. And because you are a part of that community, let me go ahead and give you some shout outs right now. Because all of you were lovely. We had so many people: Professor Multiverse, Brandon, Trizelta, Bongmaster, Random Equinox, Chandra, and Guillaume in the chat right now, Sabersloth, and all the ones who came to watch it live. In case I missed anybody, I don't think I did, who are on right now. But thank you so much for being here. And a huge thank you to the people who make it happen. Starting at the top of our Patreon with our world building producer, Soul Omen, who is developing some really awful things for, I mean that in a good way, for the upcoming Shards of Nirn revival, as well as some eventual Werewolf the Forsaken stuff when we finally get back to that. A big thank you to my mom and my stepdad, who are our divine producers. Thank you to my demonic producer Precarious for his devilishly good nature. Good-naturedness, anyway. Thank you to the magic of our wizard of the Patreon, Tammy, the Forever Cleric. Thank you so much. Some of your spells are being looked at right now in the Discord because Tammy gets free spells that I will write for her. And finally, to the Council of Patreon, who are our highest general tier, who use their combined love and magic in order to create wonderful things. That includes Terran, the Traveler, Buddy, Trizelta, Amberthist, Cubby Gummy, Raven with Baubles, Karasha Urquhart, Drew Thompson, Sergio, Chef Aladeth, Larouk, and Sorcerer Sanguine. You are all phenomenal. Thank you so much. If you want to join them, join the very important, or not the very important, join the Council of Patrons tier, / Prince of the Patreon tier. I gotta rename that actually. And help support the stream. It makes a huge difference because I like to eat. Sometimes too much, but hey, we'll spend it on wigs.
So many wigs.
Also, killer memes tonight, Professor Multiverse.
Were they? I've got to check that. I didn't have a
Very
chance.
good.
Yeah,
So good.
It was so
I
good.
try not to pull up Discord. For one, I didn't want to pull it up on my phone because I was doing things, and then I don't
Mhm.
want to pull up
Yeah.
Discord it might screw with my mic. So
It's so good.
Understandable.
There's so much shade against text, like totally just
It's
not
just
believing
good.
magic. It's so good.
All right, so folks, I hope you enjoy this and come back in a month. Next Sunday, though, you can join us at 7 p.m. Is that when Passions is starting, at 7 or 6?
I was gonna flow that to the rest of the cast.
Sunday
I actually really
night.
do like the 6. I do like 6 because then it gives me some not super
We'll see if
late
Amy can
bedtime.
manage to de-blue before then.
Yeah.
Right.
so-
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was basically right to the line with ending at 4 for Spelljammer. So
Okay.
Well, we could
So-
always aim for it, and then
Yeah.
if we have to push it a little late because of de-bluing, at least we have time,
We can also
Yeah.
do
and we might
6:30.
end a little
true.
earlier then.
Mm-hmm.
We can also do
I do
6:30,
like-
folks.
Having
Yeah.
like a 10 p.m. end the night before having to get back to work.
So join us next weekend for Passions de las Passions, the telenovela role-playing game, and then next month we'll be back with Technocracy Zero Sum Episode 3, followed the following week by the first game of the Radiant Citadel. Robin, I need that wig.
Yep.
All right. And with that, that's going to be it from us tonight. Jen, any final words?
Thank you all for joining us here, and I had so much fun tonight. It was great. I loved it, and I am so excited for episode 3, which I basically now have plotted because I apparently plotted too much for episode 2, which is great for me.
That's always amazing. With
Right.
that, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, leave comments, like, subscribe, smash any bells that you might find. And we'll see you next time in space.
And spurs.
Technocrats in space.
Space, space, space.
Good night, everybody.